On my other intro, what I did was I added that last 13 seconds so that it works out exactly perfectly. But I forgot today. Anyway, we're going to get it twisted. Let's do it. Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Doc Rock Tips. But this is the new joint, the Let's Get live show. That's how you recover when you mess up the intro. Anyway, today is going to be fun. I'm bringing in my homies, my special guests. Ryan is somebody that I used to work with when I got in radio. As a matter of fact, when I first jumped in and I was just an intern and a nobody, he was already super celeb. And, you know, we've got to work together over the years, been friends for more years than I want to say. And, yeah, happens to be just a really cool cat. It's one of the funniest cats in Hawaii. And so what he's doing is he has a podcast going and he's just setting his studio up to make it a little bit more live. And we're talking about going from just doing it with your phone and working your way up. That is it. So I wanted to bring Ryan and Tina on today to talk about building a podcast, basically the new term vodcast, and just running with it. So we're going to do that, talking about Ecamm. And so let me, without further ado, bring in my homies. Put you guys right there. But, oh, you guys came Halloween mode. What?
Halloween!
Doc. Oh, bruh. Wait, I'm slipping. I didn't even think about Halloween mode. What the heck? Oh.
What? Dude, this took us all of a millisecond to put on.
Right?
Thank you to the snap camera.
So ding dong. I didn't install a snap cam. And I have my Stormtrooper helmet over there. I could just go put it on, but then I won't be able to see.
I already see behind you that you have the Christmas tree up because you are always ahead of the curve. Look, that's you. You're way ahead.
Honestly,
we're still
that's
here.
Just back there for practical light. Like I say, you know what? I'm gonna turn Vader into a queen and just wrap him in some purple lights. And then the Ben Franklin ghetto Christmas lights, they're supposed to be purple. Them joints are pink. So House Mart, Ben Franklin, I think it's called House Mart to the folks in the mainland, Daiso in Japan. Y'all need to get your colors together because that is not purple. That is pink. It's cool though because it's in my color scheme, so we cool with it.
I love your dude. I'm loving the color scheme, man. We look at your stuff. We're so jelly as rookies, white belts in this Ecamm digital world. You're like Yoda, and I don't mean that in age. I mean in wisdom and like force, moving the force. You know what I'm saying? And so we're total just rookies. I don't know what in the Star Wars world would be the rookie, but we're the rookies.
It's
man.
Padawan. Come on, son.
Okay.
Not Wookiees. Not Wookiees, Tina. No.
We're Wookiees.
We're Wookiees. That's it.
Scott said, "Is that Elvis in the background with Christmas lights?" Thank you, Scott. Absolutely
better than our whiteboard.
Yeah, dude. This is we do have plans for a green screen. It is coming. So
one thing that I can tell you guys just help me with. I always have done my guest situation with the standard verticals, like when you come up in here. Wait, I did that wrong. When you come up here and you change the crops, but that's going to be too tight because it's going to cut off the cute person in the screen, which is me. So in which case I realized I need to adjust overlays for when I do 16:9, which is how you should do guests anyway, if you ask me. We had this conversation recently, and I think it's better when you have a guest to do this layout as opposed to the squeeze one, because that means the guest has to move around and try to find center, and you can't always do that. So I think I've come to the conclusion I like this better. Yeah. So
this
anyway,
is nice. Yeah.
What we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about helping you guys get your studio stuff together and working into some things that we could do to make it easier for you to just bang out the podcast. I mean, you've been doing great. The podcast is mad entertaining every time I come in and make trouble, which is fun, and there's some things that you can do for people that are setting up a podcast. So we're going to talk about like what gear you have now. What are the gear changes that, you're looking forward into making? And what happened to Conor McGregor?
He's here.
Oh, okay.
Our duct tape has grown weak in this heat. Let's just say that. But so he fell off the wall, but he was right up there too. Like his career, he's fallen a bit.
He's over. All right, that's great. So before we get it started, first I want to remind everybody we are using Ecamm right now. So never mind my goofy overlays because I didn't even think about readjusting the overlays for this. But
dude, you're way ahead of the game. I love it.
Hey, no worries. So we're using Ecamm. If you want to check out Ecamm, that's the information right there on the bottom. And yeah, it's super funny. So let's get it twisted. Tell me a little bit about your show, like how long you've been doing it. And then, of course, before we do that, you guys introduce yourselves better than I did.
Well, my name is Ryan. This is Tina. And I actually met Doc Rock. We both started at the same station like 20-something years ago.
Easy.
But it's yeah. And so, you know, and I'm back at the same station, right, the past few years. And so I've always had this idea of doing off the air, right? So been on the air. You know, you get off at like 10 o'clock, and I've done like little clips of off the air. That's what I used to call it, right? Years ago, I called that like off the air, and I would just like be in Sam or whoever. We would do these little clips once we get off, and we would swear, and we'd get to do all. It's kind of like the fantasy of a radio person, right? You get to say all the crap that you'd be busted for on the radio, right? So it just kind of came from that. Right. And then but when I met Tina, I realized the reason why I could never like keep it consistent is because I needed help in all these other areas. And part of it is like doing something like this. There's a lot, right? And there's the technical side. There's like the left brain side. And so I have to admit I'm a little bit more right brain heavy. And I think she's a little bit more left brain heavy. So we kind of just have this, we're
lopsided.
Yeah. So I felt like we found a good team to maybe try to approach some of this stuff, which I admittedly was never great at all, like, you know, having to deal with the technical stuff while also trying to like, you know, host a show or something. So
then he hires me, right? And I know nothing about technical stuff.
She's so smart, and she worked for cheap too. So that and she cute too.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'm learning. So I'm learning all the stuff, and I'm watching your videos, and you know, I know I was probably driving you crazy with like, I can't get rid of this echo in my ears, you know, for I don't know how long. But you know, we haven't done that many podcasts, and we haven't like tried to like promote it or anything, just because we're not like feeling.
Yeah, I don't feel ready.
Yeah.
I don't feel ready, but
we're always like, wait, what button? Where do we push?
Because I would hate to, like, you know, the idea, right? You don't want to like yell from the rooftops, hey, everybody can watch our podcast, and then we're dealing with all these issues. So we just feel like, look, we're going to just vertically integrate for a hot second here and just work on some of this stuff. So we're so glad we found you in the community, and I love what you're building and the way you guys do it. So
cool.
We're just here. We're here for the ride to learn, you know, get better at this stuff, you know.
Okay, see, that's what I did. Okay. I pressed the wrong button. You know, so
I just wanted to check in, make sure that
I was like, wait,
we can go forever. It's like we got to check. Wait, talking to other humans. Wait, hi.
No, you cursed me because you said press the wrong button, so I pressed the wrong button. So anyway, I got to send a shout out to Love Outreach who's here today, checking us out on YouTube, and then my partner in crime from my DJ's live streaming show, Scott. He's out here listening, and he said, "Nice your virtual spike collars." So yeah,
I know it goes on the microphone sometimes. Sorry.
Absolutely love that. Hey, I just shrinkified Scott more than normal. All right, cool. So two things that we should just get out real quick. People, this is for everyone out there paying attention, because I'm Virgo, so by nature I wanted everything to be like perfect, but it doesn't happen, right? Even with everything in place, even with everything working, it doesn't really happen. Hence we have, you know, Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake at the Super Bowl, or Kanye, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce, you know, like, so even with the best plans with $1 million budgets go crooked. Right?
Yeah, no, you're right. Well, that's why we thought we would beta test like showing you guys us like fumbling through this, working through it. So we're not ashamed of, like, we do realize part of the value is like, look,
I'm pretty sure I've seen parts of your body that I don't want to see again.
I was thirsty. I drank too much.
And not to mention, like, I've never done anything like in front of a camera. I would get like anxiety to call the radio station. So, this has been a real learning curve for me.
Look, but what she has is like, she has the same, like, you know what I mean? She get the same stubborn, like if she can't get it, she will not like stop until it's done. So, right. So I recognize that trait. I was like, oh, okay, she gonna figure it out. And she has seriously figured out everything.
That's the ganko bate. It's when you're part ganko and part gambate. And so for people who don't speak Japanese like Tina and myself, ganko is like stubborn or hard-headed, Scott. And I'm not calling any names, Scott Sills, smoking Scott. Wait, Scott smoking. Sorry, let me fix it before I get yelled at. But I'm like that too, right? I would, and it irritates me because I'll get caught on something that I could just let go, but I would sit there and hammer it because I want to get it right. My brother's the same way. My brother June, who's also watching, he's just like me. Like, we'll hammer it until you get it because I cannot lose to this computer. F you, computer. I'm going to kick your butt. Yeah. Like, I'm going to work this out. And seriously. Then the gambate is just like that spirit to just, give it your best, do your all.
You can do it.
Keep doing it. You can do it. Yeah, you can do it. Kill that. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes I had a water boy.
Yeah, sometimes it gets both of us. Like, you'll start her, she'll get frustrated. And I'm like, honey, like, relax. And then by like half an hour later, we're both like ready to throw the laptop out the window. Yeah. So then we got to calm each other down. Like, okay, look, it's an inanimate object. Let's not get emotional.
So we're gonna call Doc. I can tell you right now, the best thing to do in that situation, and I don't do it, so I'm just gonna tell you the right thing, even though I never do it. The best thing to do is to walk away from it and come back, because what you'll find out is you'll see what you missed. Super funny. Last week during the show, I was showing Hector Molina about my keyboard. So I accidentally pulled the keycap, and there's a little contraption you use to pull it off, and it went flying around the room. Bruh, I searched my room for like an hour, and I couldn't find it. It was almost as if that key went into the Netherlands, not the city, but the place behind Narnia. There you go, because I have a right here. It's like that key went into Narnia. Yesterday, Karen came in and she's like, "Oh, it's right there," and I'm like, "Mother, what?" I looked in that area. I moved everything in the area out the area and put it back. And so on the power strip, there's 2 spots where you're supposed to put in the phone jacks. On the Monster Cable power strips, it fell in the phone jack, so it was just sitting there. But because it's upside down, it looks like a plug. So I looked at it, I never even saw it, and like literally within seconds. And my brother June was like, "Today I'll come over and help you look for it." Yeah, it's so funny that sometimes I'm so angry that I can't find this key. I literally passed it about 300 times in that hour. So sometimes you just gotta straight up remove yourself and then come back, and you'll be like, "You dummy, it was right there." So.
Yeah, no, it is a lot of that time. A lot of time it is something obvious like that, but finding a community and finding what you guys do online too is also like a part of it too, right? Is like getting as we try to like troubleshoot not only in computers but in anything really, right? It's like the quality of your data like collection and how you analyze it, right? That so you can pinpoint and just cut through the noise. I mean, that's what you and the community we found to be alike.
Even so boss, right? I mean, the stuff that people be doing. I see my homie Jim, and it's funny because people come on and they get in the community. It's like, I just got Ecamm, I'm just getting started. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having a hard time, but it's going to be difficult for me because I'm like 61 and blah, blah, blah. And I just go, Jim, look, Jim is like 61 and he has his entire green screen thing set up. So he just slaps in the face everything I say about don't do green screen unless you're going to do it right because it looks cheesy. And he went and built himself a full studio. And so this, he's walking around in space and doing his little futuristic talks. And it's amazing. And I'm like, bruh, so number one, don't sell yourself short. Number two, in the community, bruh, there's everybody. You'd be amazed. We got doctors, lawyers, DJs, radio people, TV people, a lot of magicians. I'm like, I see so many guys in there that do magic that come in the thing, and I love magic. So I just interact. I don't know how to do it.
is a form of magic. It really is. I mean, look what's happening right now. Yeah, I mean, the stuff you can do. Where we was actually talking right before this about how, we're trying to catch up to watch The Mandalorian because we didn't see the first episode of the second season yet because we haven't finished the first season. I know we're late, but I'm just saying, yeah, no, we're just talking about how, her emotions, she's trying to get emotional to the Mandalorian character, but you can't see the face, and that like affects how she, you know what I mean? She doesn't, it's like, it's not that.
Well,
human.
I'm wondering if that's what it is, because I can't, I wanna, we're like super new, right? So now it's just a spoiler alert. If you haven't watched the first season already, you're already late. So I'm just gonna say it. So, it's the part where, he sees Baby Yoda and he feels this thing like, I don't want this thing to die because it's a baby, right? Like, so he feels like a moral obligation to protect him. And I'm just like, I get what you're saying, but I don't feel like, it doesn't make me feel like, oh, I know, like, poor baby, or, you know what I mean? Like, protect it.
Yeah, see, I'm the wimp in the relationship because I'm like, oh, like, that's the Baby Yoda.
I'm like, I just want him on my keychain.
As a Star Wars nerd in here, I'm going to have to yell at both of you guys. It's the child or the asset. He's not Baby
Thank
Yoda.
You. Okay. Thank you. Okay, sorry. Correct me now.
Everyone does that. It drives me crazy. It's just
like, what is it? He's an asset?
Okay.
The asset or the child. He's not Baby Yoda.
No.
But why call it a child? Because he's 50 years old and he's not a child.
Yeah,
well,
but then,
in Yoda years.
In Yodi years, then yes.
Thank you. Correct. Keep correcting. That's what we come here for. We come for the correction.
No, it's funny because everyone wants to say that, and they did it. They did it. They did it on purpose to get people hooked, and then have them want to go out and buy all the standard issue accoutrement and whatnot. So they got everybody stuck on the cuteness of it and left us with very little backstory. But without getting deep into my Star Wars nerdom, I can just holler back. Look at my room. My room is 90% Star Wars and about other 10% Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because Kevin Eastman is my dude. Like, when it comes to Hawaii, I see him every time. Like, that literally is my dude. Like, I love Kevin and his wife, Courtney. Shout out to Kevin and Courtney. So, yeah, it's just a thing that I know that's good marketing, folks. If you want to learn about some marketing, pay attention to what Disney and the cats do over there because they know what's popping. Yeah. And also to Lanai, who comes over here to bother us. I'm surprised he didn't say anything crazy yet because he always says dumb stuff.
He's on
my streets. So,
Lanai, how is he even here? Don't you have 17 jobs? Are you in between one of the 17 jobs?
Hey, I suckered him into coming on Tuesday to help. We're going to do interview tips because, we got interview mode, and now everyone's learning how to do interviews. So I asked him to come on and do interview tips because he's interviewed like 1,000,000 people. Actually, you too.
Seriously, no,
like
he's
1,000,000 people. Yeah.
No, he's the Oprah, bro. Lanai's the Oprah of Hawaii, dude. No one's interviewed. He's interviewed himself. I saw that one. That one was good.
He doesn't have
this guy
that kind of
everybody.
Money though, because otherwise I would get some. I would look at every time I look under my chair with Lanai left. There's nothing but like an old fries wrapper from wherever. He's always eating, right? That dude is forever eating good stuff too.
He's the best. But you see, he even found a way to make money on that. Now he's a food critic. Like the guy just figures it out. I love it.
What is it? I think it's 2 cookbooks. Maybe the third cookbook is coming out. And like when I went to his house, all I ever got was like top ramen. Well, okay, we got cigars and whiskey at his house, but he out here with that cooking show comes on in like 51 countries, dude. I'm like, really? Like, I don't want to see your face that long, but
dude, Lanai had no idea. When I met him, right, he's like, I was like still living in my parents' house, right? So when I moved out, one of the first places I went is to go like, hang out with live in Lanai's like on the floor on the couch, right? And then like and then a few months in, like I didn't tell him, I was like, I had drums in the garage I never bring over yet. So the one day I just bring I was still moving that. 2 months in, I bring the drums. I got drums at Lanai's. I was like, I didn't know this is part of the deal. But it's just so funny. He's such a good buddy, man. Let me. I was too young to know that was not. You should probably check in and ask Lanai. Thank you, Lanai. Shout out to Lanai. But anyway.
Okay, so before we turn this into the Hawaii Radio Grammys,
sorry. Yeah.
No, because I would do it. I'm with you, brother. Like honestly, Lanai has pretty much got me in the radio. He was like, "Hey, come over and press these knobs for a little while." Okay. And then I realized I was doing all the work while he was running around talking to females. but that's a different story.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, that's when radio had buttons. Now it's all computer. Anyway, so right now I see both of you guys got the SM7B legendary mic.
Yeah.
And outside of that, what other equipment do you have set up in your studio for your podcast right now?
We have the Rodecaster. We use the Canon 5D Mark IV.
But right now we're just using a laptop.
Yeah, well, because we wanted to use the Snapchat filter,
yeah.
But usually we like to do the fisheye just because it's just a different look. Everybody's like super up close, and we just.
You can install SnapCam directly and bring it into Ecamm.
Oh, we were trying to figure that out. Actually,
that's what we did. But how does it go into? Wait, maybe not.
No, because
okay,
one
see.
of
How do you do that?
my homegirl, who is like my mentor in chief, she does that. She uses the SnapCam. Hold on, I'm trying to find my what you call it here. Here's that. So here's Snap Camera, and you basically download this to your Mac. And then, in theory, all of the Snapchat filters or whatever just automatically work. I don't know if it's going to make me install something. And I do like to be dangerous and just install crap like while the
So we did that.
Oh, you did?
That's what we did. Yeah, but I don't know how to get the filter to come through the Canon. So we do have like we're using Ecamm right now. Like I can put let's see. Like, I put our names up here and, but, yeah, I don't know. I haven't figured out if we can put, and I actually looked through the whole Snapchat information settings thing.
Probably what happens is, and I don't know, and unfortunately Steph's not here because she would just know the answer right away. I think what happens is it actually shows up as one of your cameras. Does that sound right?
Yes. So, so it's like SnapCam. So it says SnapCam or Canon or, your MacBook camera.
See, that
you know what I mean?
Rad. Okay, let me try.
I love that one. This is my favorite one. I like that.
I hope it doesn't broke any stuff when I'm trying to do this live while Ecamm is running. Like, that's okay, gang. We live dangerously out in these streets.
It may need you to close Ecamm and open it back up before it
can't do
shows
that.
up. Yeah,
that's not gonna work. I see built-in camera. I see my Mac Mini. Oh, so yeah, I guess it doesn't show up in the camera until you do that.
Yeah, you gotta relaunch.
So. There you go.
But we can sample some filters for you.
Yeah,
so
I love
in
this,
theory,
man.
basically that's all it does. Or you pick which camera you wanted to work on.
Right. And then you go into the app and then you can click on the different filters and it'll show up in Ecamm.
So the thing we haven't figured out yet is how to do that with like the Canon 5D.
Right, because it has them as two separate cameras. I don't know how to get the filters to show with the Canon.
So. It shows the Canon up with two filters. Okay, I got that. All right, that's cool. That's good to know. Like this is kind of rad though, Like I don't want to be Tim Horton. I don't know why it asked me if I wanted to do that. June said though, my brother said he doesn't know how well it would work with the fisheye lens though, because part of what it's doing is it's trying to map to your face, so it needs kind of a planar map. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Well, even with the other lens, what is that lens? That one?
And the 50 millimeter 1.2.
Okay, yeah, even with that lens, because we like the the depth for that one. So.
Yeah. If you have I moved it back there because I was cleaning up. Most people don't understand this, but if you have the space for it, we all say get the Sigma 16 1.4, right? Because Sigma 16 1.4 is just gorgeous of a lens. But if you have the space for it, almost every brand camera makes a nifty 50, and the 50 millimeter lens is so dope for this process, but you kind of have to be able to move the tripod backwards, right? Because right here, my camera is like literally right there. I can touch it, but the wall is right behind there. So I don't have the space. You need about 6 feet, about maybe. And the thing that's cool about the the Nifty 50, and every manufacturer has one. Your eyes are roughly 53 millimeters. Even when you're old and blind like myself and you rocking, glasses or whatever, the human eye is roughly around 50, 53 millimeters. So the 50 millimeter or the 55 millimeter are very, very popular lenses, right? They did, the reason why movies and all of that were 35 millimeter is that's your human eye at full periphery. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to a lens like a 16 millimeter or wider, you're adding more than you would probably see if, you're visually adding more on the screen in the window than you could probably see if you were stood still. So if I were to take that 16 millimeter, go across the street to Point Panic, we have surf break names in Hawaii, people. If I were to go to the Point Panic surf break, throw the tripod up, I would literally be able to see Makiki all the way to the tip of Diamond Head, all the way to end of Ocean's View till we can't see anymore. And in reality, your head can't do that. In your head, you have to turn. But if I took a picture of that and posted it, you can look at it without rotating your head. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why people don't know why they love the look of 50 millimeter lens so much, but it's because that's what your eye actually sees. So your brain just, I know that, I understand. There's no trick.
Right, but I love what you just said about like even the wider thing though, like to shove more information than we would naturally see from that like vantage point. That's an interesting, because I like that. I like that sort of the stretch of the imagination, the little flavor of non-reality that makes it like flavorful. So like you're watching a bubble even though you're not watching a bubble. It's just like that's kind of fun. So, but yeah, I guess it just depends like what kind of feel or vibe you're trying to go for.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Correct. And it's amazing how that works. Just the look. And the other thing that's going to happen too, once you get this set up, right? The 50 millimeter has at 1.4 has a very, very, very shallow depth of field. So outside where your face is located, literally a couple inches back and you'll be out of focus. So I was doing a stream yesterday. I was watching a stream yesterday, should I say. And it was one of the professional photographers from Nikon. And he was teaching us about astro, because I love astro. Like when Milky Way season, like in the summer, go to, Lanai lookout and set your tripod up, point it at the sky and do a quick little 30-second shots. And you get these like amazing Milky Way shots with the actual center of the galaxy, like right there. You don't have to run around like a little dog. Where's the galaxy? Where's the galaxy? Like, it looks dope, right? And because of Hawaii, we have beautiful skies. Our images are just stunning, right? So he was doing his thing, but he was using the same thing, the 50 millimeter 1.2 that they have for Nikon. And when he's here, he's fine. He'd go just like that, and he's out of focus. And you have to lean back in. And so we had to keep reminding him, like, don't lean too far out. So but it's good for the shot you have with the background that you have. And that part of it is going to be amazing.
That is our problem, because this one can't sit still. So, so that's why we like, when he's talking is
but we kind of find a sweet spot. Even when I'm using the 51.2, I keep it. I found like it's for the distance that we set the tripod. Of course, we can always manipulate the distance, but for the distance we like to set it at, I found like a 2.8. 2.8
right now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Two things that in shooting photos, you would never go wide open because you're going to lose the edges anyway. But in this particular case, we don't care about the edge. We care about what's in the center. So I find that you just get a better sharpness and a better detail when you back off about 2 or 3. So even though it's a 1.4, I spin back to 2.8 and you get it just a little bit better. And you know what everyone says when they know nothing? Just like this tarot with Anne-Marie, she said it's smooth and clean because like so people don't even know why. Like a lot of the common question, what gear? But honestly, a lot of it, what you got to look down, then now you can concentrate on what you're doing and make your content and put it out. And you have the content already. You and I are a little bit more blessed than most folks because we have had our career being on air. And so we got the persona part down. We have the hold the audience part down. Definitely when your act for the concert doesn't show up until an hour late, and your boss Alan says, "Hey, can you go out on stage and keep those 10,000 high schoolers from killing us?" Okay, that's what you get paid for. Bye. And then while he go to Jack in the Box, I gotta stand there and keep 10,000 angry kids from losing their mind while we're waiting for Justin Bieber or something. So
you know what I love about now this time that we're in, and Ecamm being a huge like byproduct of this time, right? Is that like now though, even if you haven't had the 20 plus years, you know, of experience of doing that, it's like what a great tool to help you, like with just a little preparation. You can shove these scenes in here and have your overlays done before we're like, so if you know what I mean, you can just have things that sort of help those awkward moments. You could do, you know, you just have things to reach for it. It's just you know, so many more tools to communicate with, and I'm just, that's why I'm so like,
that is 100% correct. That the ability to just get it started and just keep poking at it until you can nail it. That in itself is just absolutely amazing. And then again, like you said earlier, our community helps you learn this stuff really fast. And so the barrier to entry now is a lot better, right? Yes. So what I'm finding in our community, which is one of the reasons why I want to have you guys on today, because I know you're calling me and you're asking me about some studio setup and like getting your cameras done. But at the end of the day, the audio product for your podcast is kind of sort of the most important for now. True. But I believe this is the year, compliments of Mr. Rogan, a lot of the podcasts are going to become more vodcast. So what they're going to probably do, if you're smart, is you build a situation where your online people come and they get to see everything, the mess ups, the goof ups, the everything, whatever. Yeah. And a lot of people like that because they know you, they build a better rapport with you. They feel more comfortable. They feel like they're part of your squad, right? They're your rated HR squad, or whatever you guys call yourself, your clan, right?
Right.
And then you're going to take that finished product, which will be the video, because Ecamm's recording the video, right? Since you're doing yours, I'm doing mine. Like you can take your Ecamm video right after and save it and then chop it up into little pieces and use those to promote the podcast, right?
That's true.
The other thing that you can do is make like little clippets. And if you know, there's two sites on YouTube, right? There's the Joe Rogan Show and then there's the JRE clips.
Yeah,
right. For someone who can't sit through 3 hours of that knucklehead, which is hilarious to me because I love Joe Rogan, and a lot of people think like, oh, he's too left or too right or too whatever. Dude, he's a comedian and he's a genius because he will play both sides of that mess. He actually probably don't care. His real, he really feels.
The way he really feels just happens to have him fall on both sides. I don't think he's playing. You know, I don't think he's playing.
Because if you see his live show and you see him in person or whatever, bruh, it's hilarious. Completely different. And his jokes are like fire. Yeah. I saw him in San Diego on 420. It was amazeballs. Him and Whiskey Ginger. And so the concept of taking those clips, right? One of my mentors is Mike Alton, and Mike has a really good blog post. I'll send it to you, and it's about the 26 ways to repurpose your video content. And I was like, 26? I'm like, this dude is smoking, right? First, I found out about Mike, diehard Star Wars fan like myself. I'm like, all right, now I listen to him. So you read the article.
Well, that's key. That is key. Making those connections like
bruh, that. Like this is actual pure genius. Like it's actually genius. So I use an app called Headliner. There's other apps called Wave Video. The guy that we interviewed on Ecamm Live channel a little bit ago, his name is Anesh. I believe it's Anesh. I might say that wrong. Abolish, something like that. Anyway, he has a service called In Video, and all of these, you can take these elements of your recordings and chop them up and then put them on, right? If you have Final Cut, you can just chop it up in Final Cut, and then there's a plugin that does the little heartbeats so that, you know, your audio meter is on the video. So if you only have if you're not any motion in your clip, maybe you just have a picture of you two, like with the red filter, and then you would put the white audio beats on the bottom, and it's like, yo, next week, you know, we're going to release that. But if you want to see it live, you either have to maybe be part of the patron, right? So you can do that. Here, let me put that on screen because, got a shameless self-promote.
I love it. I love
you
it.
can put on like, okay, for the guys that are in our Patreon, you can come to the pre-show and the after show where we get real, just us, whatever, no guests, whatever. We'll just connect with our crew, right? Or we do special episodes that's, patrons only, right? So that's a way that you can help bring in, a little bit of money. I have 4 patrons right now. It's $20, but I'll take it. You know what I mean? And I appreciate every single one of them for having the enough care that like, hey, I want you to keep doing this. So, here's a little something just to keep you going. And I love that. Like, that's the dope part about building these communities. And for Hawaii, that's us by nature.
Yeah.
That's just
I
part
love
of
it.
our culture. So give them a way to do it, and then they'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So Charles is saying something which is kind of smart, and I believe this. He says, podcasts are 2010s. For 2020, we're going to go back to netcast, right? Device independent, the days of Xerox, Google, Taser, right? Or just brand names versus the independents, right? So that is 100% true, Charles. The netcast, or what we're doing right now, right? We're taking the show, as a couple friends who would, if we were able to be in the same room, we'd be in the same room right now, drinking, having this exact same conversation. But the ability for us to share the aloha that we have with the rest of the planet, and then at the same time tell them, look, you can go get yourself a mic and an interface and record your subject. Whatever it is you love, you can record that subject and put it out for the world.
Well, we were watching this, like we signed up for masterclass because that's another one of these things, like this whole revolution of us going to the digital world and learning these software programs, right? This guy he was just talking about his class was on persuasion. It had nothing to do with it, but he used a metaphor on how.
No, that one is interrogation.
But anyway, his metaphor was that for the longest time in human existence, we've had this information asymmetry where it's like the seller has a lot more information than the buyer.
Daniel Pink.
Yeah.
I love Danny Pink.
Okay, so like he's talking about this, right? And he's just explaining this just recently with the advent of the internet, right? This information asymmetry has been like kind of balanced out a little bit more. Now we have access to a lot more information, but it doesn't mean that everybody's like acting on it equally, right? And that it's only if you know how valuable it is that recently we've been able to like sort of like balance the
playing field,
right? And to get more in the know and to get more of the things that we were sort of at a disadvantage this whole time, right? He used the example of a person selling a car, like on Facebook Marketplace. Usually, the person selling it, the person who owns the car, knows way more information about, especially specifically that car, than the seller. So that kind of leads way to like sort of like cheating and scamming and taking advantage of, right? So this whole thing, everything that you guys, this community, it may seem like just for podcasts or just for but it's like there's so much information you guys are sharing about technology in general, about computers in general, that has been helping us. And you're right. I love the fact that we can like make it go, try to see if we can share this as many people as we can, especially since it's just efficiency. You just have you can set things up automatically.
Can I have a confession? So like, it really brings me joy. This is kind of bad. It brings me joy, okay? Pure joy. When I go onto the community and it says, and it has all these questions, right? Because I feel intimidated to ask questions because I don't want to seem like, who is this girl? Why is she asking such dumb questions, And then I see questions. I'm like, okay, so I'm not the only one that doesn't know how like certain things work, like audio or
Totally.
So it makes me and then I figure it out, and then someone asks a question, I can actually answer some questions now. So it feels good, it's a good feeling to think, to know that I'm leveling up each time, over the days.
Well, two things. That initial intimidation is your Japanese culture leaking out. So let's just get it twisted. So don't be shamed. Just let it was no shame. And honestly, remember, I hate saying this because everyone says it, but it's so true. The only stupid question is the one not asked. And then I pick on people when they ask stupid questions. So anyway.
Yeah.
but that, in this particular situation, like, we are dealing with something that people are building up from the beginning. And the best part about the community is, I know gear stuff really well. I know lighting, audio, camera, like all of that stuff really well. But some of the marketing aspects of it, boom. I got a degree in marketing and I don't know some of the marketing stuff. So when I clicked up with, Stephanie Liu and Mike Alton, Jen Harmon, the guys that are on the marketing level part of this stuff, I'm like, bruh, I'm the little kid over there, So like, but I hang out with them because I'm learning the idea of like, hey, like we were just talking about chopping up your podcast and sending a piece to social. One thing I only found out recently, thanks to Tim and his partner Jim, they do a show, the Tim and Jim show. It's kind of funny. When you post stuff to LinkedIn, what I was doing was posting the YouTube video, and not that LinkedIn doesn't care, but they care, right? It's kind of like that. I don't really not like my brother-in-law, but I don't like them. It's kind of like that, right? They want you to take that clip and put it up directly. Like, on Facebook, you can upload a video. Like, LinkedIn would much rather you send the video native and not have it jump, because you're taking them away from the site. So what happens is they don't, when I post a video from YouTube to LinkedIn, it gets a couple of few clicks, right? If I post a video direct on LinkedIn, it get a metric F ton of clicks. And again, I'm ding dong. I don't need a job. I'm a business owner. Why I want to be on LinkedIn? Bro, when I started posting native stuff to LinkedIn, the amount of like highfalutin people that call me up and connect and want to help out, And so really weird, this dude hit me up the other day and he's like, look, I learned so much stuff from you, whatever, but I want to pay you back. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he's like, bro, you have all this info and stuff like that, but you don't have a call to action. And I'm like, what? And he's like, no, son. So we're going to help you get your course together so that you can pull out an ebook or, put together a course on Skillshare or Thinkific or one of these places like Masterclass. I love Masterclass. I subscribe to. I went there for Malcolm Gladwell about the story writing stuff because I still think I want to write a book. I still want to write a book. I did NaNoWriMo a couple of times. Speaking of
which, just so interesting that Gladwell was the tipping point. He was the tipping point to get you to buy Masterclass.
You got jokes, bro. You got jokes. No, I love Malcolm Gladwell because he's a skinny Jewish Jamaican dude that just writes the most amazing books, bro. His books are so good. I know that Charles right now, who's watching the stream, Charles is probably dead center in the middle of NaNoWriMo, or just getting ready to start rather, because it starts tomorrow. Yeah. So I know Charles is probably getting ready because I know he's into that sort of thing. And then so this concept, like you said, of us, being able to go out here and learn this stuff and then turn around and give back by teaching it to the next person that pops up, bro, that is the win, bro. That
this is the way.
Reciprocal.
This is the way.
Circle of life.
Oh, wait, you can't change movies on us, Tina. You can't switch to Lion King. Sorry. Charles said yes. Charles said he's stressed. Thank you.
Family. We stayed in the Disney family, yes.
Okay, wait. Now we're gonna go Moana, and
go beyond the reef.
Okay, so when with your Rodecaster Pro, let me ask this question: do you record internal?
We can, but just the audio, obviously. Yeah, so you just press record, the big old record button.
Oh, with the Rodecaster, yeah, but we don't use it.
As a backup sometimes, right? But we haven't used it.
Nah, we haven't used it. So usually what we do is after we do the live, I then save the recording just straight to like Creative Cloud. Yes. And then convert it to MP3 and then just shoot it to Podbean and then just blast it.
Gangster. I got to send a shout out to Kaizen. Just dropped us a $5 super chat. Dre Show. The channel is amazing.
Wow.
Info Freak lives. Nice. So that means, Kai knows when I first started this way back when YouTube just came out, 2006. I had Info Freak because I thought I wanted to just like take over the world with Info Freak. And then I got wrapped up in school, left and went to Japan. And when I came back from Japan, I got sucked into the Apple world. And Apple goes, you can't blog or vlog or any of that stuff while you work at Apple. And I was like, So I was missing for a long time while I was doing Apple. And then when I left, I ran back in head first, didn't dive into the pool because I missed it so much. Like this, what we're doing right now, and helping folks out is legit, right? So a lot of people, like you said, like I was telling you earlier, a lot of people get caught up in the gear, right? So we have good stuff, right? I have Pod Mic, which is only like $100. You got the king of mics right now, which is the SM7B. They just introduced a baby brother to that called the they messed me up, M7V or MV7, and it's basically the SM7V but USB and XLR, and it's like only $250. So you don't need a special. That one won't need another interface or anything. You can plug it directly in. So but I told everyone, start with this. Pull this bad boy up, slap it on a tripod stick, and thank you, June. June said it's the MV7. See, even I'm reading it, I have a hard time saying it.
Yeah, you know what? It's almost like whoever made that up hates dyslexics. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, you're just trying to make the most confusing 3 symbols in all of language, because you can see it upside down. They all are just basically different.
Yes, I am.
Tips of the triangle.
I am dyslexic, and now that I'm processing what's going on in my head, I just realized that Kaizen actually was my classmate when we were at KCC, and we studied e-business and marketing together. Which is, like I said, I have a degree in marketing, and what we're doing for this is completely different, right? But it has some similar foundations, but the execution is completely different, right? So we are getting there together. And so the concept of, taking the recording, putting it to Creative Cloud, which is dope. Are you going to pick your editing for your video? Are you going to pick Final Cut or Premiere?
So we're not actually editing anything. We're just throwing it out.
Yeah, but we have gone through waves where we do clips, right? I'll do clips sometimes. Okay, so let me tell you why. I haven't been consistent.
So the problem
you're in trouble now, right?
Let's talk about this for a moment. No, this is my fault. But so I could not for the life of me figure out the whole Skype thing with Ecamm. Like it never worked smoothly. So what we would do is we would interview someone on Zoom and record it. And then we'd take that, and he would just put in, our names and stuff on Final Cut. And, then when he gets in there, once you get that in Final Cut, he can't stop himself. He has to edit it. So that's when he edits, and then next thing you know, he's throwing in pictures and all this stuff.
Yeah, and it just turns into this whole other thing. It's like a documentary, not even a podcast.
So then he gives it back to me. It goes, and I put it into Ecamm, and then we go live. We talk about it, we introduce it, and then we just hit play and let it run. And then so it's still, and then I take that whole recording, the Ecamm recording, and then shoot that too.
So basically,
that's the best part about the new interview features, we don't have to fight the Skype and the Zoom thing now. You can just record it. Bro, that's a game changer right there. Go ahead, Ryan. What were you gonna say?
I'm just saying that's like basically at the hot topic for Hawaiian Ryan Productions behind the scenes is efficiency struggles, right? It's like we got loads of energy and ideas, and like we're all over, so it's like, how do we like learn the software to help like sort of organize and like sort of be more efficient about our process? Because once we get that flowing, then things will be better.
Honestly, like I tell people this every time, dude. The best way to learn this software, and I'm gonna pop into demo mode real quick. Besides shameless plug, watching my videos, and don't forget to go on and hit the like button and subscribe and do all of that fun stuff. When I start, like this is my methodology, point blank. I'll come in and I'll grab this menu right here. I look at every one of those things, and I'll go down there and try to figure out what they all mean, right?
That's it.
And the other thing I do, once I figure out what that one is something that I need to know, I remember the little keys over here, the shortcut keys, right? So I do my damnedest to just remember these little shortcut keys. So like in the scenes, the ability to jump through scenes with these little commands is just so dope, right? And then once I had that figured out, I go, oh, I have a Stream Deck sitting in the box over there. So I plug in the Stream Deck, and I can put the scenes on the Stream Deck, right? And then I won this in the Ecamm affiliate contest. last month. So this came in the mail like 2 weeks ago, but I've just been too busy to set it up. But this Stream Deck has 32 buttons, whereas the one that's on the table has 15 buttons. And then so I can, just add more, right?
Yeah,
so
that's great.
Then I go through here, and then I discovered in here that starting with a blank screen is king. It's so much easier than starting with the camera and then adding the other camera and fighting it. And like, I can't, the camera's not doing what I want. I discovered if you add the blank, put your images and stuff there, then mess around with cameras, you're golden. Especially since we now have camera overlays where I could just put up an extra one, and then change it to any shape and, change it to you guys, things like that. Right? Now, the other thing that I discovered is over here, I was in here one day and I saw my Mac Mini and I was like, how the heck is that happening? And then I remembered I had NDI installed on my Mac Mini for another project that I was doing. And I was like, oh, so I can do demos by running my Mac Mini through Ecamm wirelessly with NDI. Oh, hell no. Right? So I got sidetracked on that and it spent hours and then I discovered NDI. So now taking the NDI one step further, if you open up the old phone ski without plugging anything in, if you have the NDI app on the phone, which I do, you can fire off the NDI app on the phone and then anything your phone can see will get sent to Ecamm as a thing. And I was like, oh my. See, then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I have been fighting OBS for like 5 years. And then this Ecamm thing does all of this in a bag of chips without even trying. And it's simple and it speaks my language, which is Mac and easy. Whereas OBS is the one of the biggest headaches with OBS, honestly, is because it's a dual platform program and anybody can program for it, right? You got to imagine, we're making Portuguese bean soup. Okay, so I come over and I go, like with my family recipe, we use Redondo's Portuguese sausage, right? And then, so I put it in, right? And then somebody else comes in and take that out and then be like, nah, they had these ones on sale at Walmart, so they go chop it up, they go throw it in, there's one. So it looks the same, at the beginning, smells the same, but then you go to use it, it's not the same because the Walmart sausages ain't Redondo's, bro. Sorry, it just ain't. Like, people in Hawaii that live here, you know what we're talking about. If you don't live here, just run with the metaphor, damn it. And then somebody else comes in and is like, oh, okay, I'm going to use this, these beans. And somebody else going to come in like, no, I got the Western Family beans because they was on sale. And like, Western Family beans is dry food. Don't spend the extra $5. So it's open source. So everybody can touch it. Everybody can mess with it. And then the forks start going crooked. Then they got to rein it back in. So OBS was this nightmare of, yes, it's free, but you're always fighting whatever the latest fork split or update or, whatever was popping like that. So you're always fighting it. Whereas Ecamm, you just don't have that stuff,
Right.
But honestly, go into menus and just comb through and see stuff that works your way. Again, the community is such a fantastic resource.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, like I think the key elements are now with guest process, right? I'll ask you because you have more experience in this particular situation as me. How do you prep guests?
Oh, we're supposed to prep guests?
Yeah, well, look, look, we're learning better how to do it better because this is where I am a little sloppy. I just text you 5 minutes before. Hey,
we're going live right now. Want to jump on?
Yeah, you ready? I'm horrible. So I'm this is different from the radio show. Radio show, of course, we do way different, right? We'll do it with the week. We've got you on the schedule. We'll give you the whole email before. I mean, it's much more professional at the radio station. But then I come home, I just for this, it's I get into a different mindset. I literally think this is my drinking game almost. So I'm slowly starting to realize, Doc, don't hate me yet. I'm starting to realize, okay, wait a minute. I know this kind of how Seinfeld just tried to do comedians in cars with coffee because it was fun. And then he's like, oh man, you know what? I can make money if I do it right.
Yeah.
And then, it just turned into
hate
this.
You for that. But you know what? Here's why this is better, Ryan. You actually scored on something fantastic. A lot of cats jump into this with the immediate mindset of on the way make money. It never gonna work. I'm gonna say it 8,000 times. It never is going to work. When you come at this from a level of love and passion, and you guys seen me and Scott together, we get heated on just crazy stuff, but the passion is just because it's like two friends arguing over like a sports game in the bar. And I love it. You work with Sam long enough to be on the end of those Sam arguments. I've been in the same room with the Sam arguments during jock meetings, but you turn that. It's so much fun though, right? You're having a blast. You're with your buddy. You're arguing, but you're cracking up at the same time.
That's what I want. I want that smoke. I want all of it.
That level of naturalness and organicness just comes from you, Ryan. You're just Ryan, and you are the world's greatest scab picker. Like for as long as I've known you, brother, from 100% love, you're the world's greatest scab picker, and that's great though, because that makes for this type of show, the type of show that you do. That's great entertainment. Like you're adding value, and somebody else is thinking what you're about to say. But when you say it to the person, you're not coming from a point of being mean. You're just being Ryan, and you're being funny. So, but if the other person said it, it might come off mean because maybe they really mean it as mean. So you could ask the mean question or poke the mean thing, but no one's going to get mad at you because they know you're just clowning. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I'm so glad you broke it down like that, because I mean, kind of that's at the heart of what kind of version of my sort of entertainment world, right? Is like I make money to sort of give a very filtered version of entertainment that can be sponsored by McDonald's and Coca-Cola and all this, right? So it's like so as soon as I get out, like the older I got in the game, I got started right in high school, right? So like the older I got in the game, the more sort of
you want to go bleh.
Yeah, there's a lot of thoughts and feelings you start to get and collect about the world that aren't so
radio friendly.
They're not so radio friendly, right?
No, they're not.
So right. So it's like, I still go to work every day working on a morning show on the radio, 93.9 The Beat, Simon Ryan Show. Shout out, iHeartRadio. Yay, thank you, and I love it. But you get off the air, and they all know this stuff, but you get off the air, and I have a lot of crap they know. Don't you dare say that crap on the air, right? So that, RatedHR, the whole idea behind it became like, how can you I still want to be entertaining. I don't want to just come out and just start like, being too dark, because I that's kind of my crave of using Ecamm and comedy and anything I can get my hands on as a communicator to acknowledge that, hey, audience, I know you're human, you're out there, you're seeing the same things that may piss you off in the same way, make you suffer and feel empathetic, feel pain, all those things you feel. We all see it, but I don't want to make things worse. I want to make it better, right, through the communication. So a lot of this stuff is like, if I'm honest, I didn't do its due diligence of learning the technical side, because maybe I just thought too more about the philosophical, the emotional, the human side of it. But of course, this is connected so deeply to that too, right?
And also, I did watch a video that was in a community about, or not, maybe now I'm getting confused. Maybe it might have been just a checklist, but about when you have an interview and you bring a guest on your show, like some of the things you should do, like maybe have them come on a little early, and make sure that the lighting is good and that the frame is good, and you can hear them well.
We just did that for the first time our last interview, so we are making moves towards progress,
making sure that they have on ear headphones or something, so that we don't hear all the extra. Our last interview, it was like he had the fan going. We could hear stuff, in the background. We're like, hey, can you put in your earbuds?
Yeah, so that's you're right. It's like, so it's kind of stuff that I know being in the radio industry to do. But when I got home, I admit I just kind of took off my slippers, took off the professionalism a little bit. I'm smoking weed on the podcast, I'm drinking. So, a lot of it in 2020 and finding your community is about like, okay, like let's not lose all of the tricks that you've learned by being in this industry. Let's start to bring back some things like, have an intro, get some of these overlays looking better. I mean, it's just like
bring up something very valid. You bring up something very valid. Okay, if you follow the YouTube streamers, right? And I don't really follow them, but I do look at to see what's going on, because I like to just pay attention to the vibration of, what's happening in YouTube, right? The vibration in YouTube ebb and flows. First, how you doing, Eileen? Good to see you there, cuz. One of the things I know is like your PewDiePie, I personally, I don't know the dude, so I can't say anything, but I can't stand watching the stream. And it just doesn't resonate with me, but I'm not his audience, so I'm sure he doesn't care. But like he tends to like take things and do the clickbaity, negative, headliney type stuff, right? And it works because his community likes that stuff. I think that's bad because you're propagating, most of his community is young, and you're teaching them to see the world from really negative and cynical eyes versus like make the negative headline and then show them what positivity can come out of this thing, right?
Nice.
Like, and so it's like, people say, oh, the media is so doom and gloom and whatever like that. And I'm like, yeah, the beginning. But do you actually watch it all the way to the end where they spend like the last 5 minutes teaching you the happy story? That's been going on since the 70s, bro. And since the 70s, the news has been news. Here's some feel-good stuff to end it. So because you're about to go to comedy. You're about to run into Seinfeld. They weren't going to leave you with, Mikey just got blasted in the face. Oh, here's Jerry Seinfeld. It's never worked like that. So why people say, oh, the media is so cynical now and blah, 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 and they're so clickbaity. It's always been like that. So you just stick past the weather to find the thing about all of the kittens that we just put in crates and sent to, or the mainline sent to here because we had the space for them so they wouldn't be overrunning their shelters. Like they actually boxed up a bunch of kitties and then mailed them out to needy families. And like, oh, that was a dope story. It was at the end. You know what I mean? Or this guy who had kind of got messed over by the prison system, they figured out he was wrong. They let him out. And then like he's getting his life back together. Like that's at the end. So you got to stick through to the end, right? So the thing that you said that made me think about this is it would be very easy to just come on and then just like vomit all of the stuff that you hate and what's wrong and whatever. But the ability to take that, okay, listen, folks, I'm going to vomit right now because that's my relaxed moment, okay? But at the end, I'm going to tell you where I see the light in this, right? The light in this is our community outside of Ecamm community, the Hawaii community is dope, bro. We are just super, super dope, right? So we know how to get together and throw a paina and how to recover regardless of what the differences are. Hawaii is one of the most mixed up places in the planet. We are the seasoning salt if ever there was. So we know how to do that. So take all the noise that you've been hearing and then come and we're going to go have a paina at the beach and then show the aloha. Right now we can't do that, but we can do it virtually. So we're today. Right. Hey, Ryan, can you come on the show? Dude, why you even ask such a dumb question? All right, cool. See you. Yeah, we can sit down, we can crack jokes, we can, represent, all of our, various moments of aloha. We can share with the people in the Ecamm community, like how we do things and our mindset. And so the dope part about what we have in 2020 is you have the ability to come on and be like, yes, here's all of the craziness and negative stuff that's happening, but here's how you can take that and work it to your advantage. Here's how you can use it to feel better. Because at the end of the day, the world is marvelous. This is Drake. What a time to be alive. You can yours. I get mine. Yes. Like
he also said weed and white wine. Okay, so you know what? He's got a lot of golden nuggets. This guy.
It is definitely now is the time to come to. Sorry, that's the old typing stuff. It is now is the time, bro. Like. You can go out here, you can share your stories, you can do your thing. Right. My buddy John LeBlanc is here on the stream right now. He said, yeah, box up all the kitties. I'm allergic to cats, so I'm down with that. Cat people, don't at me, bro. I'm just allergic to them. I don't hate them. They just make me sneeze. John said we got a new shirt, various moments of aloha. That's
hilarious.
I mean, but like even like now, like John's gonna do a comedy type stream later today, and people are out there putting out good stuff. You got to look for it. But I'm not a fan of the like. Let me just throw out this nasty title because everyone is gonna click it because that gets old quick. That gets old quick, and then people burn out on it. And then people's like, I'm tired of watching this dude's show because everything he tells me is bad news. And you actually lose people that way. You might gain a lot in the beginning because we're nosy. Right. People are very niele. That's Hawaii word for nosy. But once you get past the nosy part, it's like all this dude is doing is spitting vitriol. I ain't about that life.
Right. So like, even if it like, I love that point. And even if it does bring you more numbers, I like what you said, like, is that even something that you want to be about and a part of in the sense of like, is that, yeah. So even if it does, like, I love that. So, for us, that's especially through the COVID, we've definitely, that's been a driving force of like, how do we shift everything to at the end of the day, we are not like following the political, like, crap. We're not following the hate, because it's like, what can we do about it? It's easy to just shake the fist at like all the stuff we can't control, right? But so Ecamm, all this stuff is like everything we've been putting our time and money and investment into and our hard work into is about stuff we can control. And so since we've had to do that, it's like everything our podcast has been about, just I think by accident, by naturally just talking about it, has been, hey guys, what can we do about it? We recently got into trading stocks. We've recently got into jiu-jitsu. We've recently, like, there's a bunch, and the masterclass is a big part of that, right? But all of this is
so dope.
We just got on the Honor Society.
On a roll. Masterclass on a roll. We're so Asian, we had to brag about it.
I know. I had to.
Because we get like punished if we get a B plus, we go to our rooms.
We were family of the month. We were family of the month last month. And then they just said, we like what you guys are doing, so we got honor roll.
But it's all
celebrate those victories, yo.
Yeah,
it's been a while. Celebrate all the victories, bro. It's very important to do that. I say that like all the time. I felt bad almost doing it, but we have a little a content marketers group that I belong to, thanks to Rob Balasabas, because he allowed me to come in, and I had to post a thing like, yo, I made it to 5,000 subscribers. And like everybody there has.
That's me. That's my roadcaster.
Like,
sorry.
I didn't press the button. What happened?
You know what? That's the force, baby. That's the force. I controlled your roadcaster.
What was so funny about that is, like, in Hawaii, like, we're taught not to be tunted on, right? We're taught not to like kind of do that kind of stuff. So I felt weird even posting it, but a lot of people in that group are like 500, 600, 700,000. I'm like, guys, I made it to 5. And you know what they do? They're like, hey, congratulations. Let's keep going. Let us know if you have any questions, whatever's. And that's what's so dope about the community. So while I'm watching the news and I'm hearing everybody talking about how crappy it is, I come to Ecamm and everybody's telling me, hey, today I did my first stream with my first guest and it was so cool. Like, I really thank you guys for helping me get my setup, and then they break it down, thank you to this person for helping me out. Thank you to John for the great advice, thank you to Scott for the great advice, blah, blah, blah. And then it's out there.
No, and that's everything. Like right now, what you guys are creating is the new next level of information, right? Like college, you guys are creating debt and a lot of like stress. And now we're moving into the digital age where these like digital grassroots communities offering like real valuable information to help people like stop just yelling at their memes or yelling with their memes, right? But you're like to actually start grabbing a hold of something you can do about it, right? This is what this is. And then you're like, it's so huge. This is the way.
So this is the way. One of the I guess the key takeaways here is what we want to do is like sort of explain that with Ecamm, right? You can go in and get your Ecamm maneuver on. Let me use the right overlay and then put you guys back over there and then come down here and go like this. Bam. There you go. Okay. With Ecamm, you can easily set your stuff up. And again, you can use any camera, right? I use Sony cameras. They use Canon cameras. My buddy Lemuel, who moderates my YouTube for me, he's the Nikon guy. We got Panasonic guys out there. Don't get caught up in gear. In the beginning, just get it started. You need a good spot, some light, and then your phone would absolutely work. With Ecamm, you can actually just plug in the phone cable, set this sucker on a stack of books if you didn't even afford a tripod yet, and you're able to then take your calls if you want to do interviews or do it by yourself. Excuse me. If you're just screencasting, you can screencast really well with Ecamm, which means record the software that you're teaching. One of my patrons, Andrea Adilen, she basically records herself taking simplicity patterns. You remember those patterns from like Target or Walmart? You want to make some slacks or whatever? she actually shows people how to take those patterns and make them dope and turn them into like better than what the pattern is. So she's like, look, you follow this pattern, but then add a little something here, a little something here. She has like 3 or 4 GoPros connected to like 3 or 4 different sewing machines. And I go to her stream, and bro, there's like freaking choke people watching, learning how to sew clothes. And I was like, I was a hood rat, dude. My grandma was always sewing our clothes. People like, oh, where'd your mom buy them jeans? I wanted the nice ones, but it was grandma made them joints, yo. Hey, I look good though. Do the moonwalk. Woo. But came Halloween time, when everybody was buying them plastic ass masks, they be stabbing your face. I had nice joints because my grandma sold me cool ass outfits, you know. So like that, put it in your face. Anyway, so I love it. You can with Ecamm, you would be able to do your recordings. You can record directly to your hard drive. If you happen to have an interface like Rodecaster Pro, we can record directly to here. Now you take your audio, edit your audio. I use Audition. GarageBand is great. Logic is the best, honestly, but I use Audition because I just got good at it. You know, Logic is much better, but I use Audition because I'm really good at it. I can just move really quickly in it. And chop the audio up, and then you're going to post it to something like Podbean. I use Podbean too, right? Nice. So I'm going to take the audio, I'm going to send it to Podbean. Podbean is going to cover sending it to iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart, Amazon now. Did you do Amazon yet? You can submit your podcast to Amazon and Google Play. Yes, I say that. So on my podcast, the ending is get your podcast wherever podcast getting is got. So now
I love it.
That's going to cover the audio side. The video side, you're going to throw that sucker up on YouTube. Okay. Yeah. Yes. And a lot of people are slipping on YouTube. Okay. Yeah. YouTube is where it's at. What you want to do on YouTube is go in. First of all, go to this link right here. Download yourself a copy of TubeBuddy. Eileen, who's watching right now, will tell you TubeBuddy will change your life. It will get you from 0 to 1,000 subs real quick. You need that 1,000 subs right away. That's the first step. You have to get that 1,000 subs. That's very key, right? Yeah,
we've been sitting at like 800 for like 800 years, it seems like.
Go to TubeBuddy.com.
Like I said, we've been kind of slow on the marketing part on purpose.
Go to TubeBuddy.com, and you're going to download TubeBuddy, okay? This will change your life, because the thing that did for me, what made me, like, I'm going to see if I can pop this up real quick. The thing that got me really, really fired up on TubeBuddy, besides this swanky mug that they gave me right here, so I can get in here and drink this. Ow, don't hit the monitor, Doc. I made the mistake that everybody else made. And 99 Verks, number 1, good to see you here. Number 2, we can fix that. I got you.
999 Verks. That's okay. Doc got you. That's better than TubeBuddy. Let me tell you, Doc Buddy. You need to.
What's up, Alex? Good to see you here, brother. Okay, so what I did with TubeBuddy was I discovered what I was doing wrong, and I come to find out 99% of the YouTubers probably do it wrong as well. I would put a title because Final Cut makes you, right? And I put the shortest description because Final Cut makes you, and then I press go. And I send the video up, and then I'll send it back, be like, ain't nobody watching. Oh, 5 views. That's my mama, my oldest sister, my middle sister, my youngest sister, and my brother's sister. Okay, that's my 5 views. Where's the rest? Where's everybody else at? Okay, John, go watch my video. John LeBlanc's my neighbor. Okay, now I got 6 views, right? So I'll post it on Facebook. And, Hawaii, we got like 5,000 friends. My general Hawaii people will go and click it. So I'll get to like 100 views. And I'm like, all right, well, where's the rest? It's not popping. Come to find out that this is just pure stupidity on my part. And I'm going to go to the screen real quick so I can show you what I mean. YouTube is owned by Google.
Right.
YouTube is the 2nd largest search engine in the planet. Right? Most people don't like, you know what? I want to see the look on your face when I hit you with these things, because it's kind of funny. Like
that's so cool.
You're not alone, because most people do the same thing. Let me find out where to stick you. I'm going to stick you right here. Boom. It looks so good.
Love it.
I like it. Okay.
That's so cool.
All right. So the DJ Strick, the answer to your question is the free version alone will get you started. You can fly. I'm one of these people. This is me. You don't have to listen to me, but this is me. Yes, the free version will get you far. I know me. I download free versions of crap all the time. And then I have about 700-800 free versions of stuff. If I see that it's kind of dope, I immediately pay for it, knowing that I can come back out, right? But the first 30 days, you get the pro. You get the legit process for the first 30 days anyway, right? So if you're good, you can go in your first 30 days and fix all of what you're screwing up. But you have to be really fast at going through all the tutorials on like the first 2 days to get the general understanding. It's so easy that it took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours to get the general understanding. And then I went, oh, I'm in. So in that first 30 days, I went in and fixed what they told me. The first thing they told me I was doing wrong, my descriptions were just booty. My description was, today I'm doing a chat with Ryan and Tina. Description: Ryan is my homie from the way back bus. Tina's cuter than both of us. Let's do this.
That's a great title.
And I thought like, oh, people gonna watch that. Ain't nobody watching that mess. Because when they go to search for like video with a black guy that thinks he's Japanese, a Japanese guy that thinks he's black, and then a black Japanese girl, it doesn't come up. No one's searching for that.
The titles keep getting better, Doc. These are bad examples for bad examples.
Like no one is searching for that whatsoever, right? When they say I'm trying to figure out how to make a podcast with Ecamm, people search for that. How to make podcasts with Ecamm, how to make video podcasts, how to make vodcasts. So then I figured out right away. I knew some friends of mine who were in the SEO, and John LeBlanc, you see me pop his name up. He understands SEO. Right. So I asked John an SEO question. It turns out TubeBuddy has that tools. So first thing they do is they help you formulate better titles using the keyword search based off of SEO type stuff, right?
Based on Google's analytical.
Based on Google's analytics. What TubeBuddy is at the end of the day, they took all of the free data is data when it's not processed, data after the fact. I don't know, I'm just make this up. They took all the data that they could from YouTube's free analytics, and they figured out how to correlate those into these are key metrics that helps you do your thing, right? So when you go in, right, and you realize that I haven't made my descriptions. My descriptions aren't quite searchable. You go back in and you fill in a better description, something that's searchable, keywords like the whole 9 yards. Then they said, hey, you like to post thumbnails where you just took the video and you slid it to a part where your face isn't, and then you save that and you upload it. Nobody going to click a thumbnail where it's just your face. Like, and you say, I'm going to show you the dopest parts of getting okonomiyaki in Osaka, but it's just a picture of you. There's no picture of Japan in the back. There's no okonomiyaki. There's no words. It's just me like,
oh my God. You're speaking so much truth. It hurts so much because it's so true. And I know this, but yet I'm not necessarily obeying some of these rules.
So when, as a matter of fact, I will embarrass myself for you folks, right? Let me that's my brother. My brother is talking to Bishop Oliver. Bishop Oliver's here. Hey, I didn't see you. Hey, what's up? That guy's awesome. Always comes to my streams. Anyway, so it's hard to see in this little thing, but there's another prime example. CNN can get away with it because they're huge. This dude, Alex, can get away with it because Alex has like 3-4 million followers because he's huge. No one wants to see this dude's face, but he's huge, right? But everybody else, you see where they put in, good things. It turns out that there's scientifically, this dude is the king, scientifically, a large image of your head, no matter how bulbous in glasses and like whatever, like me, Nick and I have almost the same look. People want to see that, right? That's better. This, where it's just the product and the words, normally doesn't perform well. Podcast Stage channel is about 8 years old and very informative. He already has his crew. He can get away with this. But you brand new person, do not just do that. It doesn't work. People want to see grill. If you don't want to put your grill, free stock photos, Upsplash, Pexels. You can download stock photos and put somebody else's grill. Okay. Yeah. Now let's jump into my own channel so you can see how dumb my joints used to be. And I'm still going in here and fixing this stuff. because
right.
TubeBuddy said, come through. So here you can see, that's why I asked you guys for a thumbnail, and then Tina sent me the world's smallest picture.
Sorry, we gotta. I'm like, gee, we gotta. We have all these cameras, and we haven't taken pictures of ourselves. We take pictures of everything else.
Tell him, like, it's like you're the photographer, and you're always the one taking the pictures.
Me too. That's my problem.
Together.
That is my problem is too.
Yeah.
Lots to fix, man.
So what I did though is I went and cheated. I did just like we did here. I went and grabbed the iPhone Outlook thing. Outline. And I said, I know what I'll do. I'll just make it so it looks like I stole them from Instagram and I put them inside of a phone, because a lot of times when I'm watching your show, right, I'm watching on the phone because I'm either in the car or I'm at the shop. And I just thought, okay, I'll fix that. But if I go into my videos here and I'll just sort them by like old. Let's go oldest. Bruh, these are my thumbnails. Look, there's me and Crystal goofing off in the station. But these are my thumbnails. Just like Lanai talking smack in the car. Something that you can't even read the words on, doesn't make any sense. A single highlight of this thing, because I was trying to show you how to change your DNS, right? Again, a video where my face is stuck on stupid. Me and Lanai golfing, me and Lanai playing. I got a lot of videos of me and Lanai. I just realized that. Look, I hit a hole in one at the golf putt, and I bet Lanai dinner, which he never paid me back yet, jerk. A picture of a bird trying to steal my food at a tea thing, thought we were cool. And so 10 years ago, when I tell people don't use green screen because green screen is horrible if you don't know what you're doing, trust me, I know because I did it. I made the crappy video with the crappy green screen. And
see, that's why I keep on saying calling it efficiency struggles, because it's not like I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I get lazy, I cut corners, and I admit that, right? So we're trying to make it so that we can push as many auto buttons or make things beforehand to make it as easy and
make
so
your
that's
job
not about
easier.
laziness.
And this is why I got twisted and stopped making so much content, because I was making it hard. Setting up this green screen and the lighting and the recording, this was back. This literally was 10 years ago. So I was recording on the Sony VG10 back then, which was a $4,000 camera. But see the green screen rippling over here because the air conditioning is moving the screen, so it's tearing back there. Anyway, happy birthday, Philip. I don't mean to embarrass you and show 10-year-old videos of when I had no facial hair. Let me stop that. But you go back and I see these and I wonder why none of these really performed well, because that's not how you make. That's not how you make. I got some with 29,000 views, but it's just sense.
Some of it is too. For example, yesterday's podcast, I'll just admit, I know as I'm writing this title, Doc, I know this is not about getting views or clicks. I just wanted to make this title because that's how stupid my brain is sometimes. I just choose what I want over what might be. So I called it Hawaii loopholes, poop holes, meatballs, and linghimoi chicken. Who the hell wants that as a title? It doesn't even sound but that's what was in my head to put. I put it down. And sometimes it's not a practical. You're right, but it's just what. So sometimes I think I know it's not practical, but maybe that gives it a little flavor too. So who knows? But hey, David,
send a shout out to my Viking buddy up here. Good to see you. And then Kai says he loves our freestyle descriptions because I'm just making stuff up. John, the answer to your question is yesterday, because we built a option shot golf in the wood shop because we can't really make wood stuff right now. So we have a driving range in the wood shop if you want to come by and hit balls. So there's that. Keisha says that was my Vin Diesel days. Yeah, I was the fat Vin Diesel. And then he caught up with me, so now I feel better. Yes, that's super funny. So, the other thing that TubeBuddy told me then, after I got that part kind of figured out, I figured out that I have to do tags. And, there's this fight right now on YouTube about whether tags work or don't work. I ended up doing that. Yeah. But honestly, one of the best things inside TubeBuddy is they have this thing. It's called the best practices list. And so it tells you these are the 10 things that you must do. It's actually 13 these are the 13 things that you must do for every video, right? Your title needs to be this long. Your description needs to be filled out. Your tags need to be put in. Add in cards. I never had in cards before. And I was like, what? That's a thing? Yo, in cards is legit. So hopefully I don't screw this up because my in card thing is designed to end my stream. But when you get to this page at the end and it tells you, it tells you that empty space on the side of this video, that video, it says, if you like that, watch this video. And here's another person or another video that follows this. So that's how they create the watch train. Because all of us have gone to YouTube for one thing, right? I need to know how to make the batter crispy for like string bean tempura. By the time I'm done, I done seen like 8 different recipes. I got my whole dinner and I'm still in there, right? One of the best Japanese cooking ones, cooking with the dog. The lady has her dog sitting right here, Frances, and she's cooking all of the dopest like homespun Japanese recipes. Great. Anyway, never mind. So you get stuck in the YouTube train, and that's what they want, right? So if you are helping them create the YouTube train, where someone watches a video, then another video, then another video, then another video, YouTube goes, all right, Ryan, you scratched my back? Now I got you. World, this is my boy Ryan and Tina from Hawaii. And all of a sudden, you go from your family views to your friend's obligated views to your friend who pressed play and turned the phone upside down. And then all of a sudden,
seriously, it's like the algorithms. The algorithms is like the mafia, and you just gotta pay the side cash under the table, by greasing that YouTube wormhole infrastructure. Yeah,
it is what it is. Like, and so because of the data that TubeBuddy's collected, they know, they watch analytics on a regular basis. They can tell you your watch time, what's taking too long. Like for me, some of my older videos, bro, I had like a 45-second intro. And then we gotta shorten ours too. The reason why I had it that way is because I'm sick with it in Motion and After Effects. So I was really just putting my Johnson on the table. Boom, check out my dope ass skills. It had nothing to do with the video. Nothing whatsoever. But because I knew how, and I was going to be better than everybody else because I could do this super dope, motion graphic stuff because my brother and I used to tweak out on very expensive machines doing it. Right. Nobody would get past the intro. When I started looking at analytics, like people watched for a minute and then they turned it off because they were just looking at, wow, cool intro. And then it was like, that does nothing to do with what you are doing, bruh. So it's
what
funny.
Do you recommend?
15 seconds.
Well, just shorter.
What's a good length?
Mine is 15 right now, and I'm going to peel that back to like 10.
Yeah,
ours is 13 seconds.
But I'm seeing, but I for my taste though, I'm shooting between 5 and 7. That's what I want.
Yes, so I'm gonna read exactly. My goal over November is to get my intro down to about 6 or 7 seconds, right?
Yeah, I like that. That's a sweet spot I was thinking about.
Casey says the tag feature amazing. You put one tag and it suggests the rest of the tags. And there's a thing inside TubeBuddy that tells me based off of, and again, I know why no one does this mess, fam. It's because it takes a long time. Well, Ryan just said it, right? Yeah, but when I install TubeBuddy and it giving you those kind of things, I don't have to think about tags. I start typing one and it goes, yo, dude, add all of these. The other thing you can do is it makes like a thing. So for your RatedHR show, there's say 20 tags that you use religiously. You can just click one button, wham, all 20 of them land there. What? They're called show defaults. At the bottom, you got your sponsor message. I got all of my affiliates, all of that. When I go to upload a video to YouTube now, it automatically fills in all of that. All I have to do is fix the top of the description. TubeBuddy covers the rest. Here's where it gets way crazy, right? Okay, I'm sitting at 360 odd videos. All of a sudden, this changes, right? TubeBuddy says, look, we want you to actually write the whole TubeBuddy, not just TB. I would have to go edit the description for 360 videos. Nah, fam. In TubeBuddy, I can edit all of them descriptions in one click. Look for this string, change it to this string. Okay, in non-nerd language. Look for this series of letters in this exact sequence and change it to this series of letters in this exact sequence. Press the button, roll a joint, come back, boom! All of them changed. All of them. Every single freaking one of them. That Dope. So all of a sudden, Conor McGregor career over. They're not sponsoring you anymore. No more Jameson. You get 86 that sponsor. Now you got a new sponsor. You know what I'm saying? That level of stuff is dope. John said we're gonna need a bigger table. That's funny. I appreciate you. Look, the other thing that's great too. I love it when authors put skip links in the description. Okay, so let me show you. That's another thing that TubeBuddy taught me that I didn't know and I was doing absolutely wrong. Last week's stream, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Let me get it. Where's it at? I don't even know because I just realized now, bro, I have so many screams. It's kind of crazy. Can I do it this way? All right, here we go. There's one. Let me save that. I'm gonna make sure the volume's off. I'm gonna go back to this stream right here. So it might be hard to see on the stream, but if you look at these, there's little teeny lines in between each one. And then here, there is the list of chapters. You see that?
I didn't even know this was something.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? See, I didn't know either. And then now when people hover over it, it gets slightly fatter. And then you can just jump to the different sections, right?
Wow.
You can easily just get in there where you fit in. So turns out all you have to do in the description is go in and put the timestamp where the next part of the conversation starts, right? Wow. You don't have to, it's not even that hard. You literally go in and you say, so right now we're at 133.52. I'll put 133.52, adding chapters to your video. So this is dope for podcast people, right? You're doing your podcast and you're leaving it up on YouTube. You got the intro. And then you got your first guest. You know, your first guest is John LeBlanc from Hawaii Sketch Comedy team. And then, boom, you're going to go to another sponsor break or question and answers or, you know, Hey Crime Junkies, a story about somebody got stabbed in one eye. And then you're going to go back to the next one, which maybe you'll have on Kimmy, who's John's wife. She's also the coroner on Hawaii 5-0. And so it was her baby. So she's going to explain to you, like, what her improv classes and stuff are about, right? Boom. So it's dope. It's absolutely dope. Or if you're teaching the music thing, right? Ryan, you play guitar, you teach someone how to play a song. You can tell people how to just jump to the bridge or jump to the chorus, you know? Or here's my my fingerboards. Or I don't know what you guys call it. I don't play guitar. You know what I'm talking about. That thing when you take your finger pattern and you show the C, B, D, E, whatever. So you bust your video down.
I was just like doing the Final Cut Pro, then I would like, you know, make my own tiny clips and then that would be a separate file like on Instagram or something. But this is that's a great.
And this is actually super simple to do. What I do when I'm done, right, after this is normally over, I go and I make a bagel and some coffee. And then I come back down here and I listen to my own thing. And I say, okay, this is where you screwed up, dude. This is where, you know, adjust your mic a little bit. Remember to keep your head close to the mic so you don't get signal and noise problems. Remember that you got sound effects now. Add those. And I go in and I just add my little chapters. And because I kind of sort of remember what we talked about, I can just jump around and just add my chapters real quick. The first thing I do is go back and add chapters. Now, I still have some that I need to go back and catch up on because I did, you know, maybe didn't finish them yet. But normally, if you check any of the videos, you know, I normally have my chapters put in as soon as possible. And so I'll go back and I'll check this one and there's no chapters. So I know today, go back to the 20th and put the chapters in. But I could have sworn I did that. Maybe I just didn't save it. No, what was 7 days ago? What was 7 days ago?
That's a pretty cool trick with the time codes. I wonder, that'd be cool if you could just put time codes and then you press delete and it would just like edit.
Yeah.
You know,
well, the other thing that you could do kind of sort of, because they don't have to be really accurate.
I love exaggerate. That's a better word.
Yeah, I don't even know. I just made up exaggerate.
Dude, you're an editor by nature.
You could go into, while you're doing this, right, and you have a pad, especially because you have two of you, right? So when there's a part that you think the subject matter switches or you're changing to a different topic, Tina, just look at the red thing up here in Ecamm. Let me go to demo mode real quick.
Right, just write down the
time. So just write it down on the fly so you can go back in and you can add it real quick, like right after. That alone makes it dope because somebody, maybe listen to the show or whatever, and so your guest comes on, right? What's up, Tommy? Good to see you here. So say Tommy comes on and on your show, and then he explains something cool. Tommy sends his people, right? The watch time is watch time in the beginning. So after you get your 1,000, you need 4,000 hours. You need all the watch time you can get. A lot of people are afraid to put chapters because they're afraid that it's going to take away from watch time, because Tommy will be like, hey, I came on the show at 1:30, 7:30, right? So his family members will come in and slide straight to 1:30, 7:30, and then they'll listen to what Tommy has to say for his 5 minutes, and then they're out. But if he didn't bring his friends and family, you wouldn't have got that extra 50 views. And you wouldn't have got that extra 5 minutes times 50, that he sent those folks in there to watch. So don't be greedy, son. Take that 250 and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
And that adds to your watch time. That adds to your 4,000 hours. I mean, 4,000.
That's like trader wisdom. At the same time, you got to put a little money here to hedge the other bet you have over here. Yeah. A little sacrifice for the bigger win.
Because I don't want to put in chapters because I don't want people to skip around. Bruh, they skipped right after your intro. Especially if you haven't developed the how to, walk a video, right? The other thing that I just discovered on TubeBuddy, which is mind-blowing to me, and I still can't do it. I'm beating myself up to get in the habit to do it. The pro guys, they don't end videos. I'm like, say that again. The pro guys do not end videos. They're like, so and this is the topic, and we're talking today about the Rodecaster Pro. The Rodecaster Pro is fantastic. If you want to find out more about the Rodecaster Pro, click one of these videos over here. They never say bye. They never say aloha. Never say, hey, that's it, gang. I always say, hey, that's it, gang.
Yeah, no, we love to say goodbye. In fact, we're so Hawaiian. We're so local, Doc. I mean, I feel like we say goodbye in that way where it's like, okay, and then you start like shaking everyone's hand. It's like 45 minutes later, you still never leave.
Bro, that's at least 50% of my streams, bro. We be buying and they're like, hey, what's up? Yeah. But it's funny. So the things that I've learned about polishing up my YouTube game just from downloading the app, that was, I think it was like, when I first got it, it was like $10 a month or $14 a month or whatever. Oh, there's a 9, there's a 19, and then there's a 50. And now I'm on the $50 a month one and don't even care because my YouTube income covers that. Right? So, and again, like Ecamm, bro, the back channel community, the ability to go into the Discord and talk to folks, the ability to have them come on your channel and tell you what you're doing wrong, all of that stuff is in there, right? So, like, as a podcast person,
in the Discord, or is that a free thing?
No, Discord, if you're part of TubeBuddy, you're in. Like, even as a free member, you can still get in. I think they hide some parts of the Discord for the paying members. But first of all, your first 30 days is everything. So get in there and learn what you're not doing. What happens? I forget I say this all the time, so I should know better, right? There's the 4 levels of cognition. The most dangerous one is not knowing what you don't know.
Yeah, I love that.
Right? There's you know what you know, then there's the you know what you don't know, right? Like, I don't know how to do heart surgery, right?
Yeah.
I know how to make absolute bomb okonomiyaki, right? But the not knowing what you don't know, right? Because I wouldn't know until I went to some place that, this is the best thing that I'm ever going to eat, right? Like, I wouldn't know that. I would have never walked into a store at 7-Eleven and got a thing that looked like a Twinkie with this white cream in the middle in the shape of a circle and been like, oh, that's good. I just looked at it for many, many years. Like, when I lived in Japan, I was like, that's whack. I'm not eating that because it's like a reverse ho-ho. And then I ate one and I was like, whoa, bruh, I missed an entire year of eating this because in my head, I just decided it looked like a vanilla ho-ho. And then I ate one and I was like, bruh. You know what I mean? Right? And everyone that hears us talk about convenience store chicken in Japan, they're like, man, nobody eat no convenience store chicken. That's nasty.
It's so
and then when you go there and you eat a family chicky, first of all, it comes in a cute little envelope that when you rip the half, your fingers don't get greasy. And then when you taste it, you're like, yo, Colonel Sanders, you could kiss my black. Never mind.
Uh-huh.
Yo, Japanese people like Colonel Sanders don't know squat. Let me show you something what this chicken is. And this convenience store chicken $1.50 for a thing like that big, and a beer because you can drink. So you get yourself a highball or a beer and a piece of chicken and your gravy. No gravy.
Dude, you never know what kind of wisdom you're gonna get with the Doc Rock show, folks. You just never know. It's like tech information
and chicken.
$1.50 chicken. Where that?
I've been trying to tell him. I keep telling him, let's go to Japan.
Dude,
this Japanese boy has never been to Japan. I'm
only half like her, but I have not been to the mother. And the other half is Chinese. I haven't been to China, but I get like 6% Hawaiian. You see, that's why.
When you, it's one of these things. So the idea of the key of that point, the point of that was when you don't know what you don't know. So I had been on YouTube literally for over 10 years before I found TubeBuddy. And then I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought going through tutorials on YouTube, like I thought I knew what I was doing. And then I installed TubeBuddy and I was like, bruh, remember that game You Don't Know Jack? Like, bro, you don't know Jack. So I was stuck on a little over 2,000. In the last year, I went from 2,000 to 5,500 something. Just in 1 year from following the rules, so to speak. It's like jujitsu. Like you can watch a bunch of movies and go out there and think that you're Van Damme. You're going to get worked, right? When you go in and you learn that there's more to it than just the pugilism, and you learn the techniques, the skills, the philosophies, the training, the exercise, the stretching, all of that, now you're complete, right? Same process.
Right. No, we love it, man.
I'm like laughing. This mosquito is like attacking us right now.
I got it, just like Miyagi. I got it. I just got it.
You need a chopstick. So anyway, after we recorded it and now we edited it, then we wrapped it up, right? The only thing you're gonna do now is promoting it. And that's the hard part for everyone. But so many people publish and they don't promote it. And that's hard for me because I've been in Hawaii long enough that Hawaii has grown on me. And I've been a Japanophile long enough that Japan has grown on me. The shameless self-promotion doesn't match us. That's not our kuleana, so to speak. Our area of expertise or responsibility. I also have to remember to translate when I say things that's normal for us in conversation when we're talking to outside people. They're like, what's a kuleana? Coolio. No, Coolio is where you go to get beat up. Kuleana is different.
I thought Coolio was a rapper.
That's
slide, slippity slide. Okay, so the promoting part, easy way. Facebook ads, bro. Facebook and Instagram ads are so cheap, and most people don't even think about them. You can spend $20, $30 on Facebook ads, and it will help you. You can say, I want people to get into my podcast. I want people to go download it from whatever. So that's a good way. But what we talked about in the very beginning, chopping up these clips. And I'll remember to send you the Mike Alton thing so that you can know about chopping up your clips and putting them where they need to go. And what I'm really bad at, and you do better than I did yesterday. I sent out the thumbnail to you, and before I even finished drinking my coffee, you had already posted on Instagram the thumbnail. Like, hey, I'm going to be here, blah, 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 come check it out. That's important. And where it's frustrating is in the beginning, everybody just glazes over it because we're active cats, right? So they go, something else you're doing. I'll see it next week. And so the reaction is nobody responded to my first ad, so I'm not going to put out another one. No, you got to keep going. By the time you get to 20, then your friend's like, oh, he's committed. Okay, now I'll pay attention. Especially if you come from the school of Doc and Lanai and probably Ryan too, where we try everything. Our friends are like, I'm not even going to check it out until I know that dude's in there with.
No, you're right. I mean, it's like, I think a lot, like I said earlier, I think a lot of it is just, I know I have the knowledge because I've been in the industry, but it's like the sloppiness came from just like, I don't want this to be anything like work. So I just I had to go on this adventure of just like, let me just do like contrarian kind of stuff to just be creative and just see what the hell. And then now I'm just returning back to like, look, man, we got to put some labels on this. We got to do some overlays. We got to do some like, just let's clean this up. It's you had to kind of like explore and just go blah. But now it's like, okay, let's, you know what I mean? Let's try to use some efficiency and some like what you're saying with YouTube TubeBuddy. oh my God, this is where I need to be. So good. So good.
Yeah. So that's it. And then again, Ryan and Tina have the same equipment I have almost, except for our mics. And we're getting there. So I keep everything on my kit page. I kind of build my little list. And the other thing that I started doing, right, is I keep a list of stuff that I want to buy versus stuff that I need to buy.
We do that too.
I gotta separate it because I'm a want to buy guy real quick. Want to buy stuff, boom, on the list. Need to buy stuff, and then I realize I'm missing little adapters or little extra things that I can use, or you know, kind of like step the game up. And then honestly, don't be afraid to practice. Now, what I've discovered recently, I can practice in the open because of Ecamm. You can literally like set your stuff up and then just go in the community, broadcast in the community, and be like, you know what? I'm just here to shoot the crap. I'm just getting started, but I run a podcast. Our podcast is doing fine, but give me some feedback, fam. Like, what can I do to make this better?
Yeah.
And everyone will come in. And you know what you're going to be doing, though, Tina? This is you. You'll be helping out the people that where you were 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. You know, now you know that the Rodecaster Pro setup with this mic, just most people don't know about switching the mix minus back and forth. But in the process of you giving back, you're developing new fans, right? You're learning. Like when I first got in there, one of the first guys I interacted with was Tommy. And Tommy is now he's a patron, right? Which is dope. But I interacted with Tommy because we were DJs both trying to figure out how we were going to be able to do DJ streams. And we were just talking smack back and forth. And come to find out later, like he's a Sheffield United fan, I'm a Manchester United fan, and so the argument in England is over the real Reds. But like we're like internet friends, you know, from just hanging out in the community and trying to figure out how we were going to be able to do our DJ stuff, right? But then I realized doing this was actually even bigger and better than me trying to figure out how to do DJ gigs, like helping people set their stuff up. And then come to find out, Tommy has a regular business. He's like, yo, I could do the same stuff that I'm doing for my DJ stuff. I could use this to promote my regular business. And then it's like the light bulbs come on for people. You know what I'm saying? Right. So don't be afraid to go live into the community and work out your stuff. Like we used to go to practice jokes at the slow part of the comedy club. You can do that in the Ecamm community. You can practice your streaming right there, right? And they're cool about that. Don't be afraid to do that. Also, make a dummy YouTube account that you practice into and, you know, see how things are working and whatever. But our number one goal right now is to get you to that last 1,000. So if anybody hasn't done so already, we're going to send you to subscribe to Ryan's RatedHR YouTube channel. So what is it?
RatedHR Show.
Okay, now you got to remember that people don't know how to search, right? So as I search under RatedHR Show, it doesn't come up in search,
right?
Which isn't bad, but this is where you're gonna have to own it by upload a bunch of clips. They don't even have to be long videos, right? Go in and find these like minute, 2 minute, whatever. Don't get caught up on time right now. And just get them up there and do descriptions and then tag everything RatedHR Show and RatedHR, right? Because then it's going to help people find it. Right now, if you can't find it in search, that means no one else can find it in search. And so that comes from just publishing. Okay, I found it. Okay, boom. Here it is.
Yeah, I noticed that too, and I didn't know what to do. Like if you just go on like Google and put RatedHR Show, it won't come up. But if you go into YouTube and put RatedHR Show, then you can find it. Like
right. So these thumbnails are dope because it is both of you. But I would highlight the thumbnail. So take the photo right now. You're not going to go back and change all of these. What you should do is the day before you dismantle the setup that you have right now. Take a picture where you're both kind of sort of in frame and then just go in and cut it out and then use just different colors just to get it started. You know what I mean? And you can, you can make yourself easy. Wear as much black and not white on the fringes so that you can easily chop off the back right there. And then go in and fill in all of these joints real quick and then fill in the descriptions. And me and Tina is not searchable. First of all, it's Tina and I, jackass. You went to Kaiser?
I'm an English major too. I do it on purpose. See, that's what I have. My brain does weird things when I'm out here in the wild, like not being professional. So I gotta
do
rein some
like
of
this though.
crap in.
I like the fisheye thing. If that's going to be your trademark, that's absolutely cool. But go in and just change these up real quick. And then the other thing that I screwed up on myself, this right here, bro. This is where it's searchable. Mine was so whack until literally, like, I swear to you, mine was so whack until like a week ago, fam. Because nobody clicks that. It's not about the people, fam. It's about YouTube searching you. So I just went in. I just polished my joint up and clean it up a little bit.
You don't know what you don't know.
Respect the algorithms. Respect
I straight up didn't know.
Analytics.
And now the key one, your channel keywords. That is amazing. All the info is in there, channel keywords. So you can put in Ryan, Hawaiian Ryan. You can even put in old school stuff, 3 Local Boys. You can put in podcast, Hawaii, podcast about Hawaii, vacation in Hawaii. All these things that, you definitely talk about. Don't put in things that you never talk about. But life in Hawaii, Hawaii life, flip it up, misspell it, put it all in there. There's no limit on how much keywords you can put in. None.
Nothing.
We don't even have that.
Look, man, I have not respected the algorithms. That's what I'm saying. I'm coming to Doc Rock in a revolution, an epiphany. My eyes have been woken.
Right. You'd be amazed. Just adding that stuff alone, you'll be absolutely amazed. And what will happen is you'll easily fire from here to there. Now, the other thing that I get messed up until recently, my header looked like that. My header looked dope because I'm a designer. What I didn't do was say in there live every Tuesday and Saturday. I talk about travel, tech, and lifestyle. And I even got to change that because it turned out when I was trying to do all 3, it was screwing up my subscriber because they don't know what they're subscribing for. Now
we definitely have that problem.
Until late, we've had commitment issues.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but we just started going. It's like we have like this beta mindset that's lasted longer than is like
like Google. Like Gmail was in beta for what 13 years.
Right. But it's a mindset. You get in the beta mindset, 100%. So we're slowly creeping. 100%. We're slowly creeping to a soft launch or a grand opening to where we actually pick a time, stick to it, right? Like 10 grand openings.
I was the same way, bro. Honestly, last year is when I finally decided I'm going to take a full swing at it. I doubled my the first 10 years to get to 2,500 subscribers. The last year to get the next 2,500 subscribers because I finally committed. And honestly, I'm expecting that to actually tank for a little bit and then grow again. Because what got me that original set of subscribers was somewhere on here. There's a video. This one, it has 676,000 views. That video popped off because I was teaching how to change the hard drive in the MacBook, and Kodak Black was doing a show, and his show MacBook died, and he had like an hour to get his show on, and he just happened to find my video and fixed his laptop in time for the show to come on. And then he did a little live, on Instagram, like, yo, dog, I was searching this thing, and I found his brother, like, he all the way out there in Hawaii kind of brother, and he told me how to fix my computer, and I was able to do my show. If I did it, people in Atlanta would have killed me. And then, bro, the next day I woke up, and I had my Google box was like, you got all these comments on the YouTube video, and I was like, what? And then I looked, and it says, shout out if you came here because of Kodak Black. And I was like, what that ugly fool got to do with me? And then I saw the video, and I was like, oh, so that happened. And my dummy, right when that fired and I gained like 1,000 subscribers, I didn't make any more videos.
Oh,
wow.
That was ignorant. So,
wow.
Honestly, before the end of the year, you can get that next 200, right? You got to remember when you're doing your cast, tell people, go to YouTube, right? All your little posts, everything you post on IG, whatever, subscribe, people, subscribe. Once we get you to 1,000, you're in there. And then after that, we got to get your watch time popping, and that will kind of get you there anyway, just from posting all these little clips and stuff. And then you're able to get paid. And then from the minute you get a check from Google, trust me, you stop betaing.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Like,
that's what.
You
That's
have to pay
what happened.
attention. Like, what's happening?
I went to the mailbox one day. We were at Greenhouse. Actually, it's funny because John LeBlanc is here and I can't believe I just messed up Kaimana, my dog. And so I was sitting there. I go to the mailbox one day and I pull out this thing and it was from Google. I was like, what I get at Google? Oh, it's one of these stickers that you put on the window to tell people to come to the greenhouse. So I open, $400. What the hell Google paid me $400 for? It was because Kodak Black told everybody to watch this video. And I was like,
that's pretty.
Wow.
Okay. I should make more videos. That's what happens.
That's why there's no need to hesitate with paying for all these subscriptions.
Right.
Yeah. No, and I get it. A lot of people, everyone out there, like 80% of people, you're going to have to start with the free stuff, right? But when I got serious last year, when I said I'm going to do this on the legit, I'm going to dig all the way in because I kept dipping the toe from 2014 to 2020, 2019, right? Because it was about September 2019. So I'll just call it 2020. From that 6 years, I kept dipping the toe in, taking the toe out. It was like, and then after you just get wet toe jams, I was like, you know what, dude, you got to stop slipping because I'm getting, I'm getting the love and all of the, the little thing, you get the little hug. You know when you're Johnny in school, and you're like, look, teacher, Miss Crabtree, my picture sucks. No, Johnny, your picture's beautiful. Then you feel okay. That's what I was doing. It's just whack, right? And then last year I said, okay, I'm going to do two things that are either crazy stupid or this is going to work. I went and I got a thing in the mail that said, oh, sign up for the Discover card. We're going to give you 18 months with no, what do you call that mess? No English. Interest. 18 months, no interest, Discover card. I was like, okay, cool. I am going to throw $2,000 at YouTube. If I don't make every cent of it back before the end of the year, then I'm done. I'm going to stop messing around and go stick to golf or just get high in the corner or whatever.
Yeah.
I gave myself a deadline. I put it on a thing. I was like, so boom, 1,000 of it went to equipment, right? So got the camera, got the mic.
Right.
Okay. Right. And then I was like, damn, this is dope, but I need more light. Then another 1,000 of it went to lights. I was like, oh, so now I'm done. But I was like, okay, I'm going to show what it's working with. I'm going to just go. So I started doing that. I had the free TubeBuddy. And then just making the adjustments that they told me. Then like 2 months later, I got a check from YouTube. And I was like, okay, now I can, go ahead and just pay for TubeBuddy because it obviously pays for itself. So I bought that first year of TubeBuddy, right? And then I just kept messing around, doing some stuff, whatever. And then I get the next check from YouTube. And then I was like, oh, pandemic started, but I already spurted my nut on my 2,000. I can't spend anything, but the YouTube check came in. So obviously the TubeBuddy service is working. Let me go find another dope service. Hunt, Ecamm. Oh, shit. Ecamm. Oh, sorry. I just messed up my ad rev. I just bought Ecamm. Like I downloaded it, play. Like 30 minutes later, boom, Ecamm Pro, done. Since that time, I paid for all of this crap.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Every stitch of it. Every stitch of it. You
have to believe and size into your investment, size into your the world that you're creating in your mind.
Major, dude. I've been doing this mess forever. Like I've opened so many businesses. I know how to run business. So I had to just literally think about it from a business mindset. And
it's like, it's interesting though. Like I tell you, it's like I go back and forth with this idea that partly what excites me about doing a podcast in 2020, right, is that you and we started in this industry where like it's kind of the money is funneled through these big companies, right? And therefore the content is also strained by that funneling, right? So the idea of doing something totally sort of not so marketable, doing stuff that is not so like about like, being something that's seductive for the masses, something that's more like an outlier of thought and doing weird, eccentric crap. So it's like, I find that I go back and forth with fighting that feeling of doing something that, what? So
it's the underground hip hop call, brother.
Right. It's that idea of wanting to like the Black Eyed Peas before Fergie instead of like just selling out and just loving the booty shaking music, which I do love that too.
So here's my thought on that, right?
Both sides, right?
I mean, dude, you've been around me long enough to know if it wasn't for the fact that we wanted so bad to be underground hip hop, so to speak, and just maintain that level of edge, Gerard and I should have had a Grammy. Like, I'm not even blowing smoke on my own butt, dude. Gerard and I and Javon, we were good. Like, and cats from the mainland, like, Public Enemy, Chuck D told us, you guys should come with us. We got you. Like some of the best hip hop artists of the 80s told us, let's go. Right. We got you. You guys are amazing. But we wanted to be underground. We wanted to be grungy. And to this day, we blew off a pretty excellent rap career and right during the renaissance of good rap too. 96, like we were banging. We were opening for every concert that came through the state of Hawaii. Like we were killing it, but we wanted so bad to remain hood, so street. We're not gonna sell out to radio.
Right.
While I'm working at the radio station, opening concerts provided by the
radio.
Exactly. So sometimes your mind is your worst enemy, bro. Sometimes your mind is your worst enemy.
That always reminds me of an interview that Eminem did, and he was like, "I tricked y'all." He was like, "All that, hi, my name is," he's like, that was just to get in the door. Then he comes with all like the banging lyrics and stuff. Right. And so in my mind, I'm like, look, if we have to play by the rules for a little bit, whatever, just I mean, it's kind of a balance, right? We obviously, we do want people to view us, but in our way.
Right. It's kind of like, I like the idea of building a slightly different audience, but you have to take the risk of, like, I want to build an audience of talking about this I do want to talk about the underground crap and the content, but I don't care if that also works and you find a community and then that's also successful. You also make money. It's not like I'm against that. I don't want to like hippie out too much. I still want to buy deodorant. The point is that, but like, it's kind of, you have to kind of take a sort of a less traveled road at first, right? And find your way. So I'm kind of like doing this exploration and finding our way, but what you're teaching is like that journey can be a lot more efficient, and you get quicker to still talking about weird crap and doing weird stuff, but doing it in a way where the overlays are prettier and doing it in a way where your titles are better, where you're thinking about algorithms. Why not? Because why not find other weird people? Why not?
Dude, my analogy to that situation, Ryan, is I don't want to pick a niche, whatever the heck you want to call it. I don't want to pick one because that's not me. Everybody that knows me knows I'm a Swiss Army nerd. Everybody that knows me, like I am a 100. If you look up Jackass of All Trades, there's a picture of Doc. Right? Yeah. Like I like because I have ADD. When we were growing up, you didn't have drugs for it. You got the lithium, and you was in the corner like. Or your parents couldn't afford them drugs and you was just considered a bad kid. But we didn't have a name for it. We didn't have ADD as we know it today, or ADHD, whatever the heck you want to call it. We didn't have that. You was just a horrible child that can't keep still. According to my grandma, you got the devil in you, boy. Like I've been exercised and everything. Then I learned that it doesn't matter that my brain is jacked up like that. People need structure. People need to know that when they show up on Tuesday or Saturday, you're going to drop knowledge bombs and teach them about going live and fixing their channel and getting the right gear working. And people want to know that. People want to know that you are the guy that I'm going to get this mess fixed up, right?
Right. No, like radio is kind of like, they're kind of like my parent in this, right? Where they raised me and taught me all the stuff. But then when you grow up and you kind of like rebel, there's a phase where you're like, you know what, with all these confinements, and then you come full circle and you learn like the prodigal son, and you return and go like, look, there's a lot of this stuff that just
but now
just makes sense.
And now our podcast is more, it's like organized chaos, right? Like
organized chaos is fine. That's absolutely fine. Organized chaos is jazz, fam. Do you understand that? Organized chaos is jazz. And jazz
I
is
love
dope,
it. But it
right?
still has structures that you improv off of.
Right.
But there's still structures.
Right.
Yeah.
that's super funny, Latasha. And I was it. Like I just wanted to be. I wanted. You know what? I think two things come off of it. Number one, kind of growing up as the only boy surrounded by like really successful females or whatever, like it was on me to like step up and like kind of be a man, but they was like anti-man. So like I couldn't really, they weren't going to prep me up. They were going to always keep me put in my place, which is my humility comes from my family. Like they held me straight, not held me back. They held me straight. Otherwise I would have got cocky. But I discovered from being the class clown that, it's worth something. Like everybody loves you. You're like mad popular, whatever. And it's very easy to get caught in the juice, right? That any radio person can tell you that. It's very easy to get caught in the juice. And then, you're not being really true to yourself. You're being true to the alter ego that is what it is, right? So for the longest time, like until Facebook made me change it, like 90% of my friends didn't even know my real first name. And Facebook made me change it. Because I got,
I don't know some of the real first names of the people I've been working with. I still call them by their
right.
I forget.
You'd be like,
I'm like, who the hell is Brian Chang? What? Brian Chang? That's your name?
Yo, you mean Good Vibe? Yeah, he's been Vibe Dose for so long. I forget to call him Brian. Yeah. And he's been, he's been partners, but it's what it is, right? So part of alter ego syndrome or whatever is that radio causes us to do that. But I also realized as I started to study Ms. Rosecrans and I started to study about imposter syndrome, generating the Doc Rock persona to hide from the fact that other people told me my whole life that I was shy when there's no such thing as shy. It doesn't exist. That is a construct told to us by our parents in order to make us behave and not talk to strangers. Originally, that's where it came from. But there's really no real thing as shy. It's all made up. I developed a bad case of imposter syndrome, and then I realized my imposter syndrome was partially self-inflicted because I created the Doc Rock character to be the badass to overcome for the person that I thought wasn't badass enough. So I generated a dude that's not afraid of anything, do anything, try anything, whatever, right? But I was
Tyler Durden.
Yeah, I created a Tyler Durden, 100%. Dude, I love that movie so much so because at the time I didn't even realize it. When I watched it, as I got older, I realized I created this persona as a persona of protection, right? Yeah. And then, so I got to the point where I would probably never admit this to anybody, but figures the internet, we snitch now. I became more Doc Rock than Sean Boyd. You know? And to this day, I as I got older, I wasn't until damn near 40 before I figured out that it wasn't that Doc Rock wasn't me because I'm not fake like that, but there's a different, more sensitive side of me. A lot of the people that know me don't even know that I'm freaking hyper nerd intelligent type cat, right? Because as a hood rat, you had to hide being smart because being smart meant you was soft. Right?
Yeah.
But I was known,
different survival techniques. Yeah.
I was known that, hey, you step to me, you're going to get thrown. I found out much later they're really afraid of my big sister, but that's a different story. But I, building that persona of, hey, this dude will knock you out anyway, even though it's not me. That's not my style. I'm not pugilistic in that state. But most people, once people thought that, I'm not going to take that away from me. I'm going to keep it. Right? So, like, here's a dude, comes from New York, grows up in Lanai out here, whatever. Like, everyone said, yeah, don't mess with that dude. All right, cool, I'm going to run with that. Dude, I ain't getting into fisticuffs. That's not me. I'm more of a loving creature. I'm a Virgo, right? I'd rather talk to you about your 401k than beat your ass. But if you mess with me, you're going to catch one. It was just a thing. So I started to believe my own smoke, so to speak. And again, I don't think that, in my opinion, I don't think that I was faking it. But it's different when you get to be you. So you can do what you're attempting to do because everyone knows you. Everyone knows who you are. And, those of us that know the freaking really awesome dude that you are and the intellect that you are. But our jobs made us pretend like we're not smart because, white people don't like taunted on people. but I know how smart you are.
There's a little bit of that. Yeah, there was a little bit of that. It was like, stick to this subject matter and not this, right? A lot of what, radio prep is all designed for, like, not dumbing it down, but kind of like reducing it to its simplest, most edible forms, right? So it's like,
that is to the most amount of people.
Right, right. So there's a little bit of like, I feel like I look at it as like, can we be brave enough sometimes to do something that instinctively it may not be a mass appeal thing, right? But you're experimenting creatively to maybe talk to a slightly smaller demographic, but about stuff that I'd much rather talk about. You know what I mean? So that takes a little bit of, I found that to be a journey that I'm still on, but I'm loving it. And so to me, right now, I tell her all the time, like, I think we, a good way to look at it is like, I really just want to concentrate on the actual quality of our ability to communicate in 2020 going forward, using the technology and the software that's available to us, because I think those who really just, focus on that will be the winners in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And I mean, like, being able to teach it with the community, like you said, but also just in any area that we're trying to get good at. I think that's just a new skill. That's a new, that's the typing of the 80s has become the Instagram of the 2000s. And the next level is going to be who can do it on these multi-levels, right? So I just said, forget about like concentrating, oh my God, are we getting enough views right now? But let's get good at this first.
This year is like when I really realized that most people lack good communication skills, and this is forcing all of us to kind of really put it under a microscope and go, hey, look, if we're, this whole passing by because everybody's working so hard and nobody has time for interaction really. And we're really bold when it comes to, posting something online, but then you get in face to face and you can't say it and you don't even know how to articulate things most of the time. Right. So like for me, this is a good opportunity to, connect with people, but also communicate just better, right?
Yeah, to me, I see like a low form of what Iron Man does in the movies, and we get all jealous, or what, like, Tom Cruise did in Minority Report, where you're just like, you're flinging things around a screen, and you're using any other sort of extensions of our mind to articulate more abstract concepts, right? You're giving it visual, you're giving it motion, you're giving it color. You're giving it, just all this stuff. I think Doc Rock, you were the one to tell us, right? The eye goes straight to the left top corner, and maybe that's because we read that way or whatever. But knowing all these data points and then like turning around and like manifesting it in your own communication toolkit is, to me, that's, if I keep my eye on that, I think the rest will follow, kind of thing, right?
So I two things. I want to. Latasha, I think I understand what you're asking, but ask it again, and then I'll see if I can answer that question. Because, you're great. And she did say that's great advice. And then Sam is here. Sam is joining us from Helsinki and encouraging hotels to up their game using video and podcasts to connect with their target customers. Absolutely. You know who's doing really good at this right now? Check out, there's a channel, and it's a girl by the name of Currently Hannah. She was a Disney Imagineer who ended up working at Tokyo Disney. And you were a Disney Imagineer?
Well, no, she just loves Disney. You say Disney, she's like, okay, I'm here now. I'm here. I woke up.
And then so what Hannah does is now she goes around Japan, and all the hotels and stuff are now understanding to like bring her in, have her do a live stream from the hotel, have her do a content. They walk around and they check out the onsen, which is a hot, not like a hot tub, but a natural hot spring that you can bathe in. The best thing in the world, by the way. And so you can go around, and they invite her to the town, and she shows off the town and she talks about it. And her shows are incredible. And they're really plain. Like, she doesn't produce like the way, like Ryan and I would go nuts. We got like 8 cameras and we're doing none of that. She really just goes around, and it's just random chick. But I guess her presentation skills from being Snow White at Tokyo Disney, she's very relaxing and calming You know, it's not even like she's not even supermodel. She makes fun of the people that do the whole, you know, that Instagram thing where you hold the hand. She's like, why you guys go around and travel? Like traveling sucks, bro. Traveling's hard. Here's all of the stuff why it sucks. But when you get here, here's the beauty. You come in and it's like a yokon, and she explains what a yokon is. And it's like they give you the robe and you get to have, you know, kaiseki cuisine, and she explains all of that. And her stuff is dope. Like her stuff is dope, and she creates it very anti-style, like how you would figure someone who just got their iPhone would create their content, and it's amazing, absolutely amazing. The other, can you share her channel? Yes, I will. I will do that. I think her stuff is very, very, very awesome. Okay, you said you have to read Latasha's post. If I had to say, okay, there you go. Let me go back and say it. If I had to say, it is systems and process is how that's exciting and how I would do videos on that. I'm broke. My head's broken. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Because I think that right now, number one, the fact that all of us can be teachers, even though you think you don't know anything. And I think one of the keys is, nobody knows anything. We all thought we knew stuff that we don't know. So one of the cool parts about the way the situation works right now, even just being willing to come out and tell people, like, I don't know anything, but I'm gonna learn stuff. So you're gonna follow me as I go learn stuff. I'm going to take it. I'm going to ask the questions you're afraid to ask. I know you're afraid to ask, but I know you want to know too. So check it out. We're going to go. The best part about YouTube is you don't always have to be expert. And this might help you, Latasha. I see your comment. I'll come to that. You might not even have to be expert now. Now you could be the unexpert. All of you guys, okay, I'll pick one, right? Because my buddy did it, and he don't even realize he did it. And if he had captured as much video during the time he did it, he would be one of the biggest channels on YouTube right now. 12 years ago, Lanai decided he wants to make wine. And he goes, I'm in. I'm like, cool. So we would travel around California. We go to all these wineries. We visit places. We do sippings and tastings. We would do all of this stuff. And at that time, you only had the flip camera. Remember that little thing? It was about this big with the camera. That's all we had. Like there wasn't even, like, I had big cameras at my store, but we wasn't taking that on travel. Everybody just thought we just take stuff with flip camera. But anyway, in the process of being in love with wine at the time, then all of a sudden he decided he wants to make wine. And then we found out we have a local boy graduated from Kamehameha that runs a winery that white labels for a bunch of high-end, like 90+ wine, Spectator wines. And then Lanai all the way goes, I want to make wine. And I was like, okay. But we didn't think about how to record all of that stuff. But in the process of being the not expert and him walking around and doing all these Facebook posts about being a not expert to eventually making his own wine and built around his taste, because all the guys would tease him that he has a wine taste of a woman, and he was smart enough to know, winner. Instead of taking it as a diss, he was smart enough to know, winner, because who drinks more wine than men anyway? Women. So if I'm going to make mine, I'm going to make mine a woman-friendly, drinkable wine. Notes of raspberry, notes of black currant, notes of honey, very little smoky, all of that douchey stuff cigar guys are into. He built this wine. Then he took one of our Miss Hawaii contestants, put her on a bottle, and then he sold lots of it and did a very fantastic job, and then kind of became a wine expert from the position of being a not wine expert. And had we known back then to record all of that as, I don't know, Jack explained it to me, bruh.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, like, you know, his taste in wine and his taste in choosing that cover model for that picture, I'm gonna give a lot of the credit to that picture he chose, man. That's a good
right.
But I haven't even tasted it, but I know he's with the Seguins. He made that the Look Me Into the Eye wine or whatever that was. Like, I'm sure it's good because I've had his other wine, so
it's very
sure it's good.
Okay, now I got what Latasha was saying. Shoot me, Latasha. You know I always confuse things that you're saying. Says I have been doing online lives for years, but never had to focus on making money until this year because I have my business. Business was hit hard because of COVID. So my area of focus would be process and systems, right? Now, most of my online videos were motivational, morning devotional, but now I need to pivot. And you know what? That is genius. Absolute genius, because what most people want to know, and I think even for Ryan and Tina, when they talk to me, when we did this podcast by ourselves like a month ago, just in a Facebook message kind of thing.
Yeah.
How do we got it? We got all the equipment stuff. We got the lights. We got the Ecamm. We got everything. Ryan's getting on my nerve, Doc. How do I take all of this and put it in the system? Because my Japanese side is leaking again, and I need a system. That's what she said without saying it, but I know, because Ryan and I are running gun, fly by night, no system jackasses. Like that's
all over the place.
Hey, I learned from him. We learned from Lanai, so it's part of our deal. But once I sat down and developed a little, here's my box. Follow the freaking box, Doc. Stop being you and do this. TubeBuddy, thank you. Once I followed the TubeBuddy methodology and built that little system in that process, it works. So, Latasha, if you're teaching the folks that are your clientele that system in that process, you're fine. No matter what you do, the rest is fine, because everybody, whether they like it or not, wants system and process. And I used to think that's crazy because I'm a free floating kind of cat. Nah, my niece I'm the strictest one of her. I'm the hardest one of her. I'm the one you got to study. You got to nail these points, whatever. She don't want to hang out with nobody in the family as much as she wants to hang out with Uncle Doc, which is weird. Because it's like, why would you want to hang out with the person that gets on your case about studying and you bring a B towards me? Your parents might let that slide. I'm going to work you. You don't do Bs. We're A students. And I Asian father her, even though she has an Asian father. Like, it's crazy. But it turns out people actually like structure.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of the screaming, yelling, and crying about freedom and American freedom, at the end of the day, people actually like structure more than they think they do. Because we've been taught through our freedom upbringing, we've been taught that we don't like structure, right?
Well, yeah, and I'm finding like you mentioned jazz earlier, right? And I can get behind that, right? It has structures, and the structures are like they're like if this then that, right? If this then that. So it's structure, but there's a freedom within that structure. So I like Ecamm in the sense that you can go on there, and you can do a little. Yeah, every day we're trying to we're kind of falling into a little bit more structure by accident, just because we have Ecamm and it sort of it leads you there. It suggests things you can do, right? So just by the way it's structured, where you have the scenes, and so we sit down here, we go like, okay, what do you want to talk about today? We kind of been scrolling a few hours into the day already. We kind of like already from the time we wake up, we're kind of earmarking, oh, that's interesting. Let's talk about, Olive Garden opened up yesterday in Ala Moana, right? So it's like, I found my friend Alan, he had a camera on it just an hour ago before we sat down. So I'm like, oh, let's just use Alan's like little live video. And so we just set that as a scene. And so we had like 3 things yesterday. We just put it in the scenes. And so now we're still improving. It took us like 5-7 minutes to set that up. And then we press a button, because that's kind of the vibe I want. I want to come home after the radio. I don't want to work a second job. So this was all for fun. So I want to get the whiskey out. I want to get the weed out. Right. We have a couple scenes, press a button. And then now I really say what I really want about the 3, hot topics going on in the world, in Hawaii or whatever. Right. So
that's fine. That can be your structure. Your structure can be, I am the curator or the filter of things that's popping in Hawaii from the lens of Ryan and Tina. Because you're going to be the wild card, and she's going to be the, look, dude, let's pull this back in. Let's rein this in. Let's clean it up. This is it. Yeah. This is really what's happening. The voice of reason versus the free spirit. And you know what? Just being vulnerable enough to put out your lack of structure, and then and then also something that's still kind of hard in Hawaii. A lot of guys aren't willing to let their female tell them, nah, dude, you out of your damn mind. Let's roll this back in, right?
Oh, yeah, so, I don't mind it. Correct me.
Yeah, me neither, right? Me neither. I think I'm better for it, actually. So to be able to take that yin and yang, so to speak, and then use that as a curator to talk about things going to go. You know what we do in Hawaii? We overreact. For all myriad reasons, we overreact to almost anything. Like the fact that pandemic right now, there's probably fools standing in 3-hour wait just to get free breadsticks. And I'm not hating on the OG, because I'll eat OG, but I'm not standing in line for it. Are you serious? Dude. Like, but in the same token, we've traveled, so we've been to OG. there's people in Hawaii that have never been to OG. They just hear everybody talk about it, so now they want to go see.
Yeah.
So I get that. And this is funny. John says he prefers beer flavored wines. So we're gonna laugh at John. And this is 100% true. John's system: wait for Doc to tech software and buy gear, and then teach me the software and borrow the gear. So
that's hilarious.
And then my
Smart
brother
man.
said, "Hey John, take a number and get in line." Speaking of which, John needs to use this camera for his stream today, so we're gonna wrap it up soon. But first of all, number one, I just want to say that I myself got a lot out of today from hearing the way that you're doing it and making me feel better about. I was kicking and streaming into the structure, brother. I can't tell you. Because we're like, you and I are one and the same when it comes to, man, nobody tell me what to do. I'm going to do my thing, and I want to be creative, and I'm an artist, bro.
Yeah. But I'm reeling it back in with your lead, Doc. I am.
And it was hard, brother. It was very hard for me. Once I do it and I realize how much better this is, how much better it is to have a place where I can walk in and sit down and go, Ecamm, launch. I'm ready. That changes anything right there. And not worrying about my cabinet isn't straight. After I had to downsize my office because of COVID, right? I had to bring all my pops and put them here. And I was like, I don't want that in my studio. My studio was pristine. Before, I had camera, monitor, and a green background. So it was always nothing in here but just that. And now all of this stuff is in here and I'm confined. But you know what? Hey, everybody, you just got to know, I can get messy if I want to. It's my room. Right. But I'm not going to sweat that because I'm going to give you enough knowledge that you could give a rat's about all of this stuff in my cabinet, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I want that back to be clean. I was talking to my brother the other day, like I want to get rid of the shelf and, put the turtles all up on the ceiling. Like, Michelangelo's up there. And my old remote control car, I technically should throw it away because I don't drive it, but I spent like $1,200 on it. And it was fast, and my brother and I used to sneak in the parking lot of Video Life and race around until we almost set something on fire one day. Different story. I need to get rid of all of that, and I was just going to put acoustic panels and make it look all YouTube-y and all of that. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, I can't do this because my studio doesn't look like Nick Nimmin. And then I realized, but Nick Nimmin is Nick Nimmin. You're Doc, and nobody really cares if your studio is messy. You know what I mean? And that was hard for me. Like, that was really, really hard for me because I always wanted to put on, like sort of best show forward, right? Yeah. So when I see how dope Nick's setup is, and I was like, yo, I need the 50-1100-inch monitor. I got the Rodecaster Pro now. Look, he got Star Wars in the back though. Player. Yeah. There you go, Nick. Let's see. Maybe he brings it into the front. I thought I saw. Oh, he does have one thing that's kind of cool. He has a slider over here somewhere. Right. Where the slider moves the images. Oh, there he goes. He moved it in the front. You still can't shoot, buddy. Anyway, so I would look at Nick's stuff and be like, yo, I can't do my lives until my studio look like Nick. And then right. COVID happened and I'm like, yo, I got to go in the studio and start making videos because if I sit next to this woman for another 5 minutes, there will be fisticuffs. And that got scary because right before COVID, she got promoted to brown belt. So now these fisticuffs won't necessarily work out in my favor. So I'm gonna take my ass downstairs and make videos. Right? I was like, hey, and then their dojo closed, and so they can only do practice in the house. So we moved all the furniture, so she can do her katas and stuff. And I can't be in there because I accidentally get hit. Plus, she likes to practice on me. And come to find out, she starts to hit really hard now. So,
That's why we get together. So we can we do jiu-jitsu together. So
we don't allow each other to watch videos ahead of the other one because then like at any given time she may be able to kick my butt. We have to go in order so that we have the same level. We can kick each other's butt. So
I learned. So I came in the basement basically to hide and like while I'm down here, I might as well rearrange stuff, set up, and start studioing it. And then it is. And you know what? It's going to get better, fam. Like I'm going to keep messing with it. I'm going to keep growing. I have a jacket laying on my hair like what dummy did that? I didn't even think about it. When I came in, I took it off. I'm like, I'm going to just stick it right here. It's in the way. Yeah. So, there's a process. There's a purpose. And I will eventually get it to where I look similar to like Nick. But for right now, I don't got to be Nick. I mean, we have the same haircut, We got the same beard, same glasses, gray beard, haircut. I'm the fat version. He's the skinny version. I know there's a difference, dummies, but we don't got to point that one out. And then but
totally.
He's at 700,000. I'm at 5,000 on the way. That's the way I see it. So my brother says, as long as things are done intentionally and with the purpose, the concept is good, you can pull it off. And 100%. That quote, see, my brother always drops the knowledge to close the end. And Eric said it best. Yes, Doc, your background is horrible. Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
You know what? But it's what you put in the foreground, my friend. That is the real value. Thank you, Doc, so much. Seriously, from the bottom of our heart. I
appreciate you guys for coming through. I think that us just evangelizing our pain and our struggle is helping somebody. That's all I do this for, people. Definitely. I do this to help people because at the end of the day, I'm a retired Army paramedic. My job is to help people. So that's what I do. And if I can entertain you and tell you something that helps you out or be that motivation for Latasha to stop making motivation and now make system and process videos, which I would watch because I need more system and process. I am the most unsystematic person that happens to actually like systems, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like I can always add more structure. And so, thank you guys for coming, and helping. I will be there to help you get past that first 1,000,
Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Doc. It's a really weird matter of numbers. Once you nail that first 1,000, the next 1,000 is simple. And then 1,000 after that is simple. Like, since I hit 5,000 on my birthday, I've grown another half of that 500. I've grown another half of 1,000 in 2 weeks after that, which is weird.
Right, there are tipping points actually. Back to the Malcolm Gladwell reference.
So, like now, I'm averaging about 500 or 600 subs a month. I was like, what? But it took me forever to get to 2,500, and now I'm averaging that a month. So, if we can get there and we can help each other out, I'm down.
Nice.
And now you guys have inspired me to push my podcast back because I've been slacking on my own podcast. So I'm going to produce an episode today since John is stealing my camera. I can't have my camera today. I'll use that opportunity to record a podcast. But then I kind of want it to be a vodcast too. So I don't know. I guess I'll bust the other. I got another camera, so we're good. And thank you. Thank you, Latasha, for showing up. I appreciate you. Thank you for saying my background is horrible. And thank you for being there. So, gang, first of all, tell folks how they can find the Rated HR show. Explain it.
On YouTube at RatedHR Show. And also, if you follow Ryan Matsumoto here, Hawaiian Ryan, we usually post the lives on Facebook.
And then all this information is at hawaiianryan.com, which might be the easiest to remember. So,
yes.
And
also, if you're into podcasts more than video, we're on like all of it. Spotify, iHeart, Google.
Yeah, we don't have a line as cool as Doc's, right? Like, get your podcast. We're all podcasts.
All the podcast getting is got.
There you go. I can't even do it. That's awesome.
Hey, awesome. The secret was my outro. I had my niece record my outro, and everybody thinks it's cute. So just go get one of your kids to do your outro for you. It's better. People people love little kid outros. Like the Crime Junkies lady, she has her dog do the outro. Is that right, Chuck?
Yeah.
And like everybody loves it. So turns out dogs and kids make great outros.
I've used that too for Hawaiian Ryan Productions wedding videos. I've had that's funny. Dog and kids saying goodbye. That's a good idea.
That's the money side. Well, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, dudes, we are here every week at 2 times. Now I gotta change this tomorrow because the times are going to change tomorrow's, but you do the math. The hour changes tomorrow. I should have did it today. I forgot. See, this is why I need a system to remind myself. Then when Black Eyed Peas time come around or daylight savings or whatever they call that mess, right? And also want to remind you folks that this was all shot together today with Ecamm. We talked about it a lot. If you haven't already jumped on the train, jump on the Ecamm train. It's a game changer, especially if you're a Mac user. If you're a Mac user, it's the best way to stream, the best streaming software for Mac, hands down. And it's not even about the buttons and the click. It's about the community. It's about being able to hook up with your homies and have people like Latasha and Eric all the way from Germany, you know, calling in. My brother down the street in Makiki or John upstairs. Wait, where's all the people that don't live here? Oh, Sam from Helsinki. You know, like we got people all around the world that just jump in to say what's up and talk to us. And bro, that's the best. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna hit the end screen and play the outro music, and we're gonna call it a day. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Tina. Love you guys.
Love you, Doc. Thank you so much.
Safe. Wait, I gotta set my. See, I don't even have my button set right. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Music, please. Aloha, gang.
Yeah.
Hey, play the music, damn it.
Hawaiians can't say goodbye. You can't say goodbye.
See, you said that earlier, right?
I told you.